right. Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend, Mr. BDA. That's right, Mr. BDA. Glad everybody could be on board for this one. Ooh-wee. We haven't done the show since last... What was it? Was it last Wednesday? A lot of drama now since then. A couple of good fights. And then, of course, we got the drama going on in England. Not only do we have a good fight coming up this Saturday, but we also have some developments going on in the heavyweight division. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. A little bit of everything. Bucho's still in vacation in the land of the sun, the Aztec sun, Mexico, our native Mexico. So I'm glad everybody could be here for this one. Late night podcast. Usually I like the nice mellow music for the late night podcast, but I am a little bit tired. Listen, you try lecturing a bunch of 15-year-old snot-nosed motherfuckers, heathens, who don't believe in God, right? You try fucking teaching them about God and about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and see if you don't come back home a little tired. Now, what I do enjoy about these late night shows is I get to take my sweet ass time without Bucho pestering me. Send the invites. Shut up. I'll send the invites when I feel like it. All right. Because I got to decompress a little bit here. Just a little bit.
Be fucking nice. Be nice.
I am being nice. Very, very nice, in fact. All right, so let's recap. Okay, first of all, the other thing I like about nobody pressuring me is I can read a little bit of the comments in the chat room. I always appreciate everybody in the chat room. Jason Bourne says, I think Bucho will not be allowed back into Canada. Listen, if they have any sense over there at customs, they will not let him back. As he says, Bucho on vacation back home in Pakistan. Yeah. Shepherd the Sun says, Tyson Booth is a British national treasure. Brandon White, shout out to Brandon, says, Tyson continues to ether Michelle Joy Phelps. You have no talent. Whoa, what's this about? Who's this? First of all, who's this Tian fellow? Or Tyson, I don't know how you spell it. And what's he saying about my Michelle? You don't fuck around with Michelle Joy Phelps without BDA coming at you. Bucho is in Karachi, says Shepherd the Sons. Shout out to the Punisher. Shout out to Johnny Boy. Shout out to Shepherd the Sons. Blowjob signals. What the fuck? Gonzalo Anaya in the chat room as well. Azzy says Fury is Aaron property now. Danny Lopez says what's good BDA. Shout out to Danny Lopez. All right. So I guess you've all heard what's going on with the heavyweight division right now. Tyson Fury apparently signing a deal with ESPN. What is it, 100 mil, something like that? And it's getting everyone's panties in a bunch, especially the LDBC. But listen, we know that they're going to complain no matter what happens. If Wilder would have signed a $100 million contract with ESPN, they would have been all over him as the great businessman that he is. But Tyson Fury does it, he's ducking. Even though nobody knows if the rematch is going to happen or not. It might happen. The chances of it happening now actually might be higher. We don't know. As he says, $103 million deal. Well, 103, 102.5, who gives a fuck? It's $100 million. And I'm just looking at the page here, boxing scene, and it says, Bob Arms says, we don't need the WBC to dictate Wilder Fury rematch purses. Well, hopefully they can make it happen. Hopefully now with ESPN backing them. Listen, Fury Wilder rematch, it will still be pay-per-view if they do it via ESPN. But again, it's ESPN. Maybe it gets more people. I don't know. But the chances of the rematch happening might be easier now. Maybe now Wilder gets paid a little bit more. Because at this point, Anthony Joshua's getting paid with DAZN. Fury's going to get paid with ESPN. Meanwhile, Wilder's doing $2 million per fight with Showtime. So, I don't know. This might be to his advantage. That's the way I see it. Could be wrong. I often am, but not really. So there's that. Who's told me they're down for this fucking podcast? I don't know if any of that... Listen, if any of you British lowlifes want to get on the show, give me a shout out on Google Hangouts. You know who you are. Cameron, Stu. I'm trying to get on Skype. That's the only way you can reach Stu. But it ain't happening for some reason. I'm going to try again once I get settled in here. But every time I try to open Skype, it shuts down. So, Precise says he's down. All right, so I'm going to send a couple of invites here. Who else told me they're down? Well, hold on. But before I continue with this shit, also people are forgetting the Chris Eubank versus James DeGale fight. I think it's gonna be very fun. I don't think it's gonna be fight of the year, but I do certainly think it's gonna be have the potential for to be an interesting fight. I think there's gonna be a little bit too much holding for it to be a fight of the year. I think Chris Eubank, as always, is gonna overshoot the distance unless he's been able to correct that fault. And I think every time he closes the distance, James DeGale is just gonna clinch him the way George Groves did. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think it's gonna be a pretty interesting fight. Also, I just want to check real quick the undercard for that one because I'm pretty sure there's another fight on that same day. Hold on a second. Okay, so we got February 23rd. That would be a Saturday, if I'm correct. Yes, it would be. Anthony Durrell versus Avni Yildirim. If you remember, Yildirim is the Turk that got knocked out by Chris Eubank Jr. during the WBSS tournament. Much to Boxing Style's delight, he loves watching Turkish people get knocked the fuck out. We're also going to have, of course, like I said, on Showtime, James DeGale versus Chris Eubank Jr. That's probably going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern here. Joey is taking on Bermain Stiverne. And if Stiverne ends up showing up like Barry White, like he did in the rematch against Wilder, like Stu said, he's going to be in trouble. Also, Lee Selby taking on Omar Douglas. Omar Douglas is the guy who dropped Javier Fortuna in their fight and then ended up getting outboxed. And in the zone from Tijuana, Mexico, Brandon Rios taking on Humberto Soto. Nice little fight there. So that's what we have there. And now that I'm done with that, I see we got Recognize the Matrix on the line.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing.
Whoop. No. You know what that means? We got to restart this. No.
I'm not going to have that.
We're going to have to restart this shit.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
Let me do a little remix for this one.
Oh, you did a remix of that. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime. You gotta see me right now. Don't get fooled when they.
I'm just playing whatever the fuck I can find. All right.
I was dancing.
All right, well, let me play another one then.
Go recognize. Go recognize. Go recognize. Go.
All right.
Go.
That's enough of that bullshit. Recognize, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, as always, a little bit of a late night show because I wanted to do one.
Late night shows are perfect for me. I'm always on the grind at night.
Always on the prowl, you mean, right?
That too.
Listen, just to explain real quick to you and everybody out there, I wanted to do one tomorrow, which is my day off, but then some unexpected plans came up, so I said, you know what, let me do one real quick here at night, and we'll see what happens. What do you think about that? Is that okay for you guys? Or
I like it.
Well, I know you like it because you're a late night fuck. Oh,
yeah,
but sorry, because I'm just looking at the hangout. Was that?
I had a lot of late night fucks, you know.
Yeah, you're used to the fucking late nights, right?
Yeah.
All right, so listen.
The crime rate was up in Madison Square Garden today.
What happened?
There was so much drama. I guess we'll get into it later. AJ, Big Baby Miller.
Oh yeah, wasn't there some talk about mothers and stuff like that? Mothers got mentioned, I think.
Mothers got mentioned. Big Baby Miller pushed Anthony Joshua.
Oh.
Bunch of YouTubers were getting into beef at Madison Square Garden. It was crazy.
Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, let's get to the drama first with the YouTubers. What happened with which YouTubers? What happened?
Some guy I never even heard of, but apparently he's popular. I think I heard of him, but just never watched his videos. Something Blood, not Blood Boxing. Something Blood.
Blue Blood Boxing.
Yeah, that's him.
Is that really him? Because I was just bullshitting. Is there a guy named Blue Blood Boxing? All right.
Yeah, there is a guy named Blue Blood Boxing. And,
all right.
Because I heard the name, and he got into He got water thrown on him.
Oh.
Ness. You know Ness from the Boxing Voice.
Mm-hmm.
He got water thrown on him. Apparently, so
Piss
it was
water
just
or?
I heard it was like Anthony Joshua or Anthony Joshua's peoples that did that.
Wait. They threw. I mean, he got caught in the crossfire, or they deliberately targeted him with water.
I think they were asking like stupid questions, and somebody in not Wilder, Anthony Joshua's camp got tired of the whole thing. Maybe it had something to do with the whole drama between him and Big Baby Miller, and then on top of that, you got them asking questions. I'm not really too familiar with the story, but I heard people talking about it. I saw even a video of it. So it's.
By the way, I'm putting it up on the screen here. Is it Blue Blood Sports TV or is that somebody else?
That could be it. Like I said, I never heard of the dude, but apparently he's like real popular in that in the YouTube LDBC whatever community, and apparently he, like I said, somebody threw water at him and Ness. I wonder if him and Ness are part of the Boxing Voice. I don't know if that's what it is.
May goodness gracious, let me tell you something. That is a complete lack of decorum for such a big boxing event. I mean, who would have thought that in boxing you would have people pushing each other, throwing water at each other? That is insane and unacceptable.
I respect them. Like I don't know what the deal was. I mean, I respect anybody who's trying to like do real journalism, like go out there and ask questions. Again, not knowing what happened, because I don't want to say that they antagonize having water thrown at them, because I haven't seen the video. But I heard people making comments that they were antagonizing while I keep saying Wilder, AJ's camp. They were asking crazy questions. I don't know what kind of questions were being asked, but it triggered them to throw water at them. And like I said, if you're there to do real reporting, and you got water thrown at you, I don't agree with that. But if you're there antagonizing people, I still don't agree with water being thrown at you. But if you dare to antagonize fighters, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're a fucking YouTuber or a reporter, whatever you may be, it doesn't give you carte blanche to just go out there and berate and ask stupid questions. Then again, you don't deserve to get water thrown at you. But I mean, listen, stupid actions deserve stupid reactions. That's just the way it goes, especially when you're dealing with these two guys who are pretty, and their entourages too, they're pretty bold people, trigger happy people. So as you can see here, I'm putting it up on the screen, the YouTube drama, as it were, and you got brutal Anthony Joshua and Big Baby Miller go at it hard from IFL TV. Why is it recognized? You're the one that pointed out this little phenomenon. They always put those titles like they go at it hard, they start making out hard, they start fucking with each other hard. Like, what the fuck is going on? Can't you just say they get into a bit of a disagreement or something? Why they gotta make it, homo?
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like to me. They got into a disagreement. It doesn't sound like really. I mean, them getting water thrown at them. I don't know. I can't say because I haven't seen the videos.
All right.
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know who these guys are.
Well, apparently,
I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean like I'm not aware of their channel. I'm not even aware that they existed. So
all right. So since neither you nor I know what the fuck happened, let's read real quick. Let's get people up to date. BDA Boxing Scene. Things got very heated when IBF, IBO, WBA, and WBO, Jesus Christ, heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua came face-to-face with undefeated challenger Jarrell Miller at a press conference on Tuesday in recognized the Matrix's native New York City. Joshua will defend his belts against Miller, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what happened? I'm going to knock him the fuck out. He is a drug abuser, said Joshua. He's a kickboxer. I'm going to knock him out. Okay, he says he's a drug abuser, and then he follows it with he's a kickboxer, as if the two are somehow connected. Anyway,
I think because he got busted, right? Didn't he fail a test?
I don't know. I think it's pretty apparent. We don't know what the fuck's going on. We're not all that informed.
We're lost, man. We're lost.
And then, to make matters worse, Joshua told Miller, "Where's your mother? I'm paying her rent with this. She will come here and watch a real champion fight." Ooh. Jarrell Miller is a little bitch. I'm going to throw this jab down his throat. For a guy that is 300 pounds, he punches like a fairy. Oh, like a fairy.
Oh,
I'm telling you, these guys, this type of talk is going to get somebody shot.
you fairy. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Remember Al Pacino? You fairy.
You fairy.
Forgot what movie.
Who told you could work with men? Wait, I fucking have that sound.
You're that disgusting fucking cow.
No, that's
fucking
not-
keys. You cocksucker. What the fuck?
Ah, fuck. I don't know where it is, man.
It's all right.
But
guess.
I used to have it. By the way, sorry, I'm getting out of proportion here with my thoughts. We have Gonzalo and Johnny Boy on the line. Guys, are you there?
Hey, how you doing, BDA?
Good, good.
you
don't
doing?
sound good. Hey, Gonzalo, how you doing,
Gentlemen.
man? Johnny Boy, you don't sound hungover at all, man. You sound like you're in tip-top shape.
Oh fuck, dude, it was my pop. We went out for my pop's birthday last night, bro. Went on a burner.
Did somebody get into a disagreement? You know, somebody insult somebody else. Somebody mentioned a shine box or something.
No, but they had the golf on, and I can't stand golf, but my pops watches that shit. But some dude was over there cheerleading for Tiger, and my dad was like, "Yo, fuck Tiger, bro."
Oh. First of all, you
Yeah,
gotta watch.
I can't understand. One of my brothers got into he's turning like real bougie. That's all I could say is I think he's letting the money get to him. But my brother loves golf now. It's like it's hard to like hang out with him because he's like a golf fanatic.
Yeah, we'll see. And my pops, like, he'll still watch the fights with me. He ain't into it as much as he used to be after Floyd and all that bullshit. He was kind of like that, but my pops is like 70, bro. You know what I'm saying? So he just likes it because him and his old buddies and shit go once in a while when it's nice out, and you know, so he'll flick it on and shit. He just can't stand Tiger, bro. Because bro, you know how they fondled, like on Showtime, how they were rubbing Floyd's balls constantly when they had that Tank Davis fight. That's what they do on golf with Tiger every fucking time. He can't stand it. He can't stand it. That's why you know.
No, I understand. I hate that. I hate when a sport like jocks on just one athlete like nobody else exists and shit.
Yeah, that's what they do, bro. So that's why you don't like Tiger. He's like, well, I don't know. Some dude said something about Tiger. He was like, yo, fuck Tiger.
Oh, you know what? You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out when you start talking shit about those half breeds. You know, like half black, half Asian, or half black, half. You gotta watch out because usually they're like magical powers and shit. I mean, I'm just saying, be careful. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's the half breeds are the true black privileged media darlings. You gotta be careful what you say about that.
Absolutely.
Oh, my bad. And then we went on a bender, and I watched Bad Santa with him when we got back to the crib, bro. My girl came and picked me up. She's like, "Man, you are fucked up. I'm taking you back home." So
Yeah, if you start watching Bad Santa, you should be somebody should take you home. Listen, we're talking about what happened here between. Apparently, this is the subject we got into. I'd rather talk about Eubank Jr. versus Degale. We'll get to that later. But I mean, we were just talking about the press conference between Miller and Joshua. Apparently, there were some shenanigans. There was a little bit of a shoving match, a couple of bad words, mothers being insulted.
yeah, I watched part of it, BDA. I didn't see. I saw the shove, the pushing and the shoving. Yeah, you said them dudes be making these crazy ass title like, "Oh, Big Baby Miller wrecks Anthony Joshua." No, they were just jawing at each other, and somebody got shoved. Not that out of control, bro.
Exactly.
It's like they print these titles. It's like a fantasy in their head. They wish Big Baby Miller crush, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, like
it's more like that. I wish Big Baby crush AJ.
The title is always like, "Big Baby Miller murders Anthony Joshua on the press conference in New York." Like, all right, bro, slow your roll.
Yeah, settle down there, Tiger.
And they won't have no enthusiasm once Anthony Joshua flattens him.
Well, you know what? Now that you mentioned, and first of all, would any of you guys be surprised if these guys actually like each other behind the scenes, but they're just hamming it up for the cameras?
You know what? I'm gonna be a little surprised.
Yeah, I don't think they like each other, bro.
I don't think Joshua likes this dude at all. And
I think they're in love with each other. Look, let's look at the titles here. Heavyweight beef, all caps, by the way. with an exclamation point. Jarrell Big Baby Miller shoves Anthony Joshua as tempers flare. The zone, okay, they're not gonna. Okay, fight hype. Jarrell Miller reacts to Anthony again. Caps. Joshua blowing kisses at his mom reveals thoughts during phase of Fight Hub. The back and forth Anthony Joshua versus Jarrell Miller New York press conference. All caps, all caps, all caps. We should start doing that here at BDA. All caps.
Yeah, all caps.
Just like fucking recognize the Matrix's tape collection gets thrown out! Exclamation point! All caps. That's what we should do. All right, let me
That's
just.
what I always put him. I always put him in caps. My last video was Wilder is overrated or some shit. It's always in caps. Dog.
You didn't do it though. Did you do it with the middleweight? The last video you did with the middleweights.
I think so. I don't know. I just put that bitch in caps. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably did. All right, let me just read a couple of the comments in the comment section in the chat room. Revolucion says, "I got a fresh crow pie in the oven for Trap Media." Violence News Network says, "I don't get the hype around him." He's talking about Miller. He's a pudgy tard or turd. As he says, "No, they don't like each other. I'll be ready June the 2nd, says Revolucion." As he says, Wilder and Fury love each other. The Punisher says they are jealous of each other's boobs. The Shepherd of the Sun says, yeah, they both despise. Okay, so the consensus is that they don't like each other. It's not a show. Apology Man says Joshua is not as calm as he lets out. Just ask Dylan White. Box88, shout out to Box88 as well. We might as well start now. I mean, this fucking drama. People love drama, let me tell you. I see we got Precise on the line.
Dependent upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though?
Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
That's right. Oh, sorry about that. Pressing the loops all the time.
He's in the remix mood.
All right. Precise, thank you for being on. All right, we're just shooting the shit here a little bit. A little disorganized.
Did you get your Casio, BDA?
No, it's not no, I got an Akai MPD. That's what I work with.
Okay. All right.
But we're just talking about the shenanigans that went on in fucking New York between Miller and Joshua. I know you're not a big fan of this heavyweight division, but how about it? Is this something that might pique your interest? You know, two guys that genuinely appear to dislike each other.
Well, when I first heard the fight might happen, I was okay with it. I actually liked the fight because, you know, a Big Baby comes to fight, and you know, we're gonna see how good his chin is because his defense ain't. So it should be interesting.
Right. Yeah,
but as far as the press conference, I saw the shove, and Big Baby Miller looks like a big, strong dude. But you know, this ain't wrestling; it's boxing. So
exactly. I tell you what, though, I'm more interested in. Well, first of all, let's go back to that. I mean, the Joshua Miller fight. We know that. Okay, now we know that there's going to be a lot of jawing at each other. Next, we have Tyson. I don't know if people want to talk about that. Tyson Fury signing with ESPN. What does everybody think about that?
Wow, that was a. I'm not too surprised that, you know, Tyson Fury would get offered a deal like that. He's obviously, he doesn't want to play second fiddle to no one. None of these, no Anthony Joshua, no Deontay Wilder. I think this deal is like, it makes all the sense in the world. Number one, it's a lot of money. Number two, you know, with what happened between him and Wilder, I believe left a bad taste in his mouth and sort of made him say, you know, let me have some backup. Let me make sure that, you know, we're talking about money, right? So when you have that kind of money, you have sort of like influence. Not that he would have needed to beat Deontay Wilder, right? Like at least the night that they fought. But let's say he had ESPN behind him and all that and all this money behind him like he does right now. I think that, at least in my opinion, I think that he would have won the fight. Like he would have won it officially. Huh. We all thought he won the fight, but he would have gotten the decision. And I know a lot of people are talking about, well, now this is going to make it harder because of the networks, ESPN and Showtime, for this fight to happen. But I don't think so. I don't think it should. unless somebody wants to make it a problem. And if that somebody wants to make it a problem, it more than likely is going to be Wilder's team. Not so much Wilder, but the people behind him. But
Right.
for Tyson Fury, great deal for him. He doesn't want to play no B side to nobody. He's got his money set up. So if you're going to make him the B side, it's probably only going to have to. It's going to be against Anthony Joshua, and he's going to have to be offered a great deal. So good for him.
He's got an ace in the hole.
Yeah, he's got an ace in the hole. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm reading here. First of all, Bucho kept me up to date with what's going on in the YouTube boxing community. Some people, Tyson Fury fans are saying what Recognize just said, and now he's got some backup, some heavy artillery behind him to ensure that he might call a little bit more of the shots next time out during negotiations with Wilder. At the same time, the usual suspects are complaining, saying that now this fight is going to be harder to make and that Fury is ducking Deontay Wilder.
Are you sure they're complaining about Wilder not having to fight Tyson Fury again? You sure they're complaining about that? I'm not convinced.
Maybe that's how they wanted to appear. They're probably a little happy, like shit, man. They're going and out fighting.
Dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, mind you, some of them dudes had Broner beating Pacquiao as well. So let's just keep that in mind. Let's throw that 2 cents in there with as well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's all suppositions. We don't know if this is actually going to make the fight harder or easier to make. One thing is for sure, though, Joshua has a multi-million-dollar deal with the Zone. Now Fury has a multi-million-dollar contract with ESPN. And meanwhile, Deontay Wilder's making $2 million per fight at Showtime. Is something wrong here? I mean, what? Isn't Al Haymon supposed to be this mega manager that gets his fighters paid? What's going on here?
Skills pay the bills, all right? Enough said.
Yeah, that's there you go. Skills pay the bills, but you don't spell it THE, you spell it TA, the bills. And you put a Z at the end there.
Yeah. Supposedly he's a free agent because he remains under not many fights, but just under a one fight deal per fight with Al Haymon because he's open to go anywhere, but that's not even happening. So where are his best interests in mind as far as him? Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna, because you were hitting on this point. Bob Arum revealed a long time ago, I think this was a couple of years ago, that all of Al Haymon's fighters are free to fight on any network. It's so, if there is a problem, with PBC fighters not wanting to make fights, you should always look to the fighter first. Like, look at Daniel Jacobs, right? He wanted to make fights, and bam, there he is making fights. So I think there's too much blame being put on Al Haymon. Not saying that he's easy to work with necessarily, but he's worked with all kinds of promotional outfits in the past. You know what I mean? I think it's the pussy ass fighters that go sign up with the PBC because they're just protected divas, or they protect themselves. Really, I think we give Al Haymon too much fucking credit, man, for as far as fights not happening. I think it's the fighters are to blame first and foremost, because after all, the manager is supposed to be working for them, right?
And the excellent point of Jacobs, who wanted to make fights, and there you go, like you said, he's making fights. So I think there's something to it that we got to start looking at these fighters. We got to start looking at Errol Spence saying, well, you fight on the wrong side of the street. Regardless of how you feel of Terrence Crawford wants to fight him. Okay, he's made that clear in public that there's no excuses. Let's make this fight happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whether Joshua didn't want to give in to Wilder's demands and he didn't fight him. Now Fury signed this contract and is not fighting him immediately, and these guys are building up their profiles. I think what's really here a lose-lose situation for Wilder. If these guys go different routes and he has to fight these mandatories and he fights a Dillian White or a Konaski, the Polish guy, he could end up losing, and he's just going to end up being the big loser overall.
Well, and I mean,
Kownacki. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say Kownacki he's got sneaky speed, power. He might be a dangerous fight. I'm not saying I would pick him to win, but he's the type of guy that could knock this whole Wilder plan right off its head.
The apple cart.
Yeah. I think, I think, like Recognize said, bro. I think he made that ESPN deal just so he knows he's going to get a fair shake, like he didn't get in the first fight, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's definitely has something to do with it. You know, just so he's got an ace in the hole, like I say. So he's got some leverage behind him in case he does. You know, so he knows some fugazi shit ain't going to happen on the scorecard this time.
Yeah, he's coming in heavy instead of not coming in at all. By the way, before we continue, let me just say, if any of our panelists wants to come in, because I didn't send all the invites, because the last time we had about 10 people and we couldn't fit everybody. So let me know on the Google Hangouts, send me an instant message and let me know if you want on, and I'll send the invite. Speaking of invites, we do have Abstract, who's been waiting in line for a bit, so let's introduce him.
Sorry to interrupt. He ain't growing on me at all. I can't fucking stand him. World is just desperate for publicity. The Charlos are on PDs.
So where we get us. All right, sorry about that. I'm trying to play the divas. Nowadays, everybody's a diva, so I'm trying to play their soundtrack. What is it? Hold on a second. I can just imagine Earl Spence dancing to this. Anyway, all right, Abstract, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm good. That makes me laugh. That intro every time, like right at the end where I go, "Charlos are on PDs." It sounds fucking random, don't it? I just like spout it out of nowhere. Yeah, how you all doing, lads? All right.
Was that?
I said, yeah. How are you all doing? All right.
Okay. Didn't get that at the end. We're doing fantastic here. Just shooting the shit a little bit about Fury signing his multi-million-dollar deal with ESPN and how some people like it, some people don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, like, I saw I think it might have been Dalboy made a video and made a few points that I kind of really agreed with before. I don't know if anybody's seen that video, but like, is Fury the fucking A side now? Because if you think about it, right, that first fight, right, the build up to take into consideration Wilder had never made any fucking money, let's be honest, like 2 million or whatever for Ortiz, and before that he was just on peanuts. Yeah, never done pay-per-views. This pay-per-view was in those terms, I guess, quite successful. Yeah. All the narrative leading up to the fight was all about Fury's comeback. It was all about Fury on the stage. You kind of like, if you want to talk about a battle of wits in the press conferences, Fury came out on top. Yeah. Then the fight was about like Fury getting up in the 12th, outboxing him, getting robbed. Do you know, like, and now Fury's got the backing of this thing. Is there an argument to say, other than the bout, Wilder ain't really? He don't really hold that many cards, and I agree with. I don't know the guy's name. Sorry, the guy that was talking, I think just before me, like that said, like Wilder could be left out in the cold now because, like he's not getting any younger. He could look back on this in like, I don't know, like on the on this last period, like a period of a year and a half, and think, fucking hell, rue the day that he turned down. Was it 27 million, the last offer from Hearn? I mean, like, he could really end up out in the wilderness, and I don't put it past somebody like Dylan White to knock him out. Like, if you like, Dylan White just iced Derek Chisora, and Derek Chisora generally doesn't get iced. I think David Hay knocked him down, but he didn't ice him like that. I mean, Dylan White's got power and he's improving. Like, and this could end up really bad for Wilder. To be
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Dylan White, because that's something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while now, a couple of episodes. It seems like this reminds me of after Glenn Johnson gave Tarver a very tough fight in the rematch, and some people afterwards he beat, I think, Yusuf Mack or Daniel Judah, and people were like, whoa, Bernard Hopkins better watch out, or Tarver better watch out in a rubber match, because Glenn Johnson might just be the best light heavyweight in the world. I'm thinking, all right, he did well, but I mean, I don't know why people. It's the same thing with Dylan White. He's putting some good performances, but to say that I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think he knocks Wilder out?
No, the other way around.
Yeah, I think Wilder would knock him out, but he could knock Wilder out. I'm not going to say he doesn't have a shot, but if I had to bet who's going to hit who first and get the knockout, I'm going to go with Wilder.
Oh. Yeah, you can't write neither one of them off just because they got that one hitter quitter. You know what I mean? So you can't write nobody off.
Hold on, there's some crackling going on, some static from who's anyway.
I agree with what recognized and what Precise said. Like, I think the smart money is on Wilder because he's got speed over him. But like both of these fighters are flawed. Well, very flawed. Like, and look, they're heavy. Like, in a normal landscape, I don't think Dylan White would be. I've never really rated Dylan White, but like the heavyweight division is dog shit. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, you know, you've got guys in the top 10 that their first sport wasn't even boxing. Like, you know, like
Right.
the dog. It's not that. There's not great quality in the heavyweight division. Let's be honest. Aside from maybe one or two fighters, and now Usyk.
Yeah. What's gonna happen when Deontay Wilder hurts his hand in a fight? Like he's been showing signs that his hand is giving in, and he loses that right hand. What's gonna happen? He's gonna be a complete sitting duck because he has no other tools, and that's gonna happen one day.
Well, he's got the judges
next
though.
fight.
He's got the judges. All he has to do is throw a couple of jabs and boom, there you go, 10-9 round.
Yeah, true.
Didn't think about that, huh, Gonzalo?
Yeah.
He
If
might not.
Wilder can box like the way he did against Duran in the first fight, I don't see how Dillian White gets to him. He's a little slow-footed and, I don't know, off balance for me.
Yeah, I always wondered this. Precise. If you win a bronze medal in the Olympics, doesn't that say that you're kind of a decent boxer?
No, but
That you have
first
a
of
little
all,
bit of skills.
sorry to interrupt here. I mean, I know the question was for Precise, but just let me just say one thing. You don't win a bronze medal in the Olympics. You lose and you get a bronze medal.
Yeah.
So he's not.
Use the gold and the silver. Yeah.
All right,
That's
so,
true.
but I'm sorry. The question was for Precise. Go ahead, Precise.
I mean, you know, yeah, I could see Wilder being disciplined for 3-4 rounds and doing okay boxing, but you know, he tends to go wild, and it's a 12-round fight. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in the guy, to be honest. And another thing, you know, we're not sure. He never struck me as a very confident fighter in the ring. We're not sure. We can't know how this loss, because let's keep it real. He knows he lost. I don't care what he says. How this loss to a fat Fury is going to affect them mentally. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he definitely knew he lost. And here's the thing, look, like this is narrative. Like you mainly hear it from the LDBC. Like what Wilder only gets wild when he's got people hurt. That's fucking fake. That's false, man. You watch the Fury fight. He was fucking throwing wild bombs throughout the whole fight, man.
Yeah, he was abstract. He was fucking throwing the kitchen sink at him the whole time.
Yeah, he
bro.
was. So this idea that he only does that when he gets people hurt. Before that, he's like this, that, and the other. Look, bronze medal or not. I mean, if you've got power, I don't know how his path to a bronze medal played out. I didn't follow it, but like, if you've got power, you can get somewhere, and he clearly has. All you got to do is know what you're looking at when you look in the ring to look at Wilder and see that fundamentally he's just all over the place. Anybody that can throw a punch and knock themselves over, fall over themselves in the process of throwing it, has got no fundamentals. I'm sorry.
And the thing about Tyson Fury, the knockdown, the last knockdown that Wilder scored in the fight, the last round, I don't really think Tyson Fury was really hurt. If you look, Tyson Fury made the count worse than what it was, because he was like, it was more like I can't believe I let this guy catch me with that punch. You know, I can't believe that you know, I let that happen. And when he got back up, he was right back to, I think pretty much like maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds later, he was throwing punches and having Wilder confused again. And even to the point where he even rocked Wilder, you know, like he even kind of hurt Wilder and Wilder had to clinch. So, you know, back to Precise, I believe that said it. How is he going to handle a loss in his mind? You can say whatever you want to the public, but in your mind, you know you lost the fight. You know you got outclassed. I mean, most people thought he only won 2 rounds, and that was the knockdowns, and that was it. I tend to agree that it's hard to find any round besides those that I could give to him. Maybe one more round, then that's probably just being generous. He got totally outclassed, and a lot of people on this panel thought that was going to happen. Precise was one. Bucho thought the same thing. Bucho thought that that this was going to be a total mismatch when it comes to boxing. So I'm just wondering too. I'm wondering if now that you got Fury that is totally signed with ESPN, and he's got the money to back him and all that, and he's got some, some strong people behind him. What's the game plan for Wilder? What's Al Haymon thinking? Is he thinking like, look, we missed our opportunity. I'm just gonna give this kid a shot, and whatever happens. I'm gonna put him in there tough. I wonder what's gonna happen there, because now they're talking about 3 fighters that he might fight. Dillian White, what's the guy's name? Brazil, and Kwanaki.
Yeah, but
I
White
think all those guys have a good shot of beating him.
Yeah.
All those guys have a good shot of beating him.
Sorry to interrupt. Hasn't White versus Brazil been ordered?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It could be, and it could be Kwanaki, and it could be Kwanaki versus Wilder. And look, I would pick Wilder to beat the Polish guy, Kwanaki, right? I would take him to win, but look at Kwanaki, man. He's a pretty dangerous guy. There's a lot of deception by the way his body looks, but there's a lot of power and there's a lot of speed that comes with that. I'm not saying he's fast. Yeah, he's sneaky.
He's sneaky. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that point that you made about
Go ahead,
that,
Abstract.
sorry, bro. Yeah, I just wanted to say quickly, like that point that you just made, recognize about Wilder and like, here's the thing, Fury as well, and Wilder's gonna know this. Is like, there's no way you don't know that Fury couldn't have been 100% fit coming off of 2.5 years laid off. Only had that like the Pianetta fight and the Sefer Safiri fight. That was absolutely part of the reason that he took that fight. Wilder absolutely knew he lost that fight. And here's the thing, and it also plays into that narrative that Fury's ducking him now. Like Fury. I mean that punch he hit him with in the 12. I think that's pretty much the best Wilder's got. Like, that's another thing that could do something negative to Wilder psychologically and something positive to Fury psychologically. Like, obviously, he's taken Wilder's shots now. He's gonna be quicker. He's gonna be fitter in this next fight. I mean, it don't look good, Wilder or the LDBC sort of like fangirls at all, does it?
That's a good point, Abstract, and I ain't gonna lie either, bro. I was one of the guys saying it wasn't that I doubted Fury's skills so much. I was just like, this dude just got off a 3-year Dirk Diggler nose candy binge. There's no way he's gonna come back in here and beat fucking Wilder. So he proved me wrong on that one. And I was like, damn, okay. I gained a lot of respect for Fury in that fight, because I really thought he was just going in there to get knocked out for a check, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I didn't think the fight was going to happen. I was on this podcast 3 or 4 times saying that fight won't happen because it just seemed like a weird fucking move. And I as well, hands up, I picked Wilder to win by knockout. I thought a fit Fury would beat Wilder, but I didn't think there was much possibility of it being a fit Fury. And I just, same as you. But
I thought
everyone wrong.
One I got to pat myself on the back for was that Vosdick Stevenson. I called the shit out of that. I'm like, bro, this is the night. I know the man's in a coma and shit. I ain't gonna say nothing bad, but I was like, this is the night that Stevenson's.
He's out of a coma.
Oh yeah, well I was like, this is the night Stevenson's gonna get his ass knocked out, bro.
Yeah,
I called the shit out of that one.
He's out of the coma? Rematch.
Yeah.
but precise.
Yeah.
You got to see he's in bad shape, bro.
Yeah.
His career is done. I mean, he's almost like, when you're kind of like teaching somebody how to talk again, that type of thing.
Yeah, they took a part of his skull out.
Yeah, he's done, bro.
They took a part of his brain.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he's finished. His career is done. I mean, that punch.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, well, then I can see how they've got a lot in fucking common.
Well, maybe then Darnell Boone, someone like Darnell Boone, then maybe. Don't throw him in tough just yet.
He's born on the 4th of July right now, bro. He ain't
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's fucked up, bro. He's out of the coma. Bad. But yeah.
Hey, you guys.
He's picking up man off the floor and counting them, isn't he? I mean, at this point.
I got a question for all you guys. You guys think Al Haymon has the money to throw around or to give to one of his elite fighters, like let's say, okay, Deontay Wilder, because the other two guys got big contracts to hand out that kind of money for a fighter, or he just does like little bit here, little bit there?
Yes, I think he does, bro. He pays these dudes millions for fighting scrubs, bro. I think he's got money for that shit. In
But
my
I'm talking about
opinion.
100 million at a time. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
give this fighter 100 million at a time.
No,
for me,
I don't.
Al
I don't
Heyman
know.
has the money. The question isn't whether he has the money. I think it's pretty obvious he has the money with the Fox deal and everything. For me, it's not a question of whether he has the money. It's like, would he put that money on somebody like Wilder? Like, like having it isn't really the issue. I don't think he'd be. I don't think he'd want to. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah. I don't see him putting a huge amount of money on Wilder now. Look at his age. Look at how the last fight went. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, abstract. He's more. He's definitely got the money. It's more of a question: am I willing to roll the dice and throw that money on the line? Is what it is.
Yeah.
He knows what Wilder is, and he's good with this deal. This one fight at a time kind of deal with Wilder, and Wilder's not complaining. Wilder's not going to demand give me a multi-fight, deal that can kind of like secure my future. So
Because really, we can't blame what's his name, Tyson Fury, for taking that deal, because I mean, you go through a whole career trying to make it to that level where you're making millions, and who's not gonna take advantage once you're in that position, especially coming off a layoff and having just one fight, then you get this offered to you. Why not take the deal, and
hey, the new
secure
person,
that money?
the new person needs to mute his mic for a
All
second.
right, now that we got a little pause here, we got Right Hero, first time panelist coming in. Right Hero, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Nice to meet you guys.
Hey, good to have you on.
What's going
Yeah,
on?
just as an aside or a little extra here. If you're not gonna talk, we ask people to mute their mics because otherwise we don't want to hear any background noise. And also, if you got speakers on, we suggest you put on your earphones. That way, we don't hear any feedback.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to go to a quiet place right now, but thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that. Sorry.
All right, no problem, no problem. It's okay. So when you get a moment, or you tell us when you're ready, and because we're just shooting the shit here about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Who was
Yeah, I'm
talking?
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a few seconds.
All right, no problem. All right, so who was talking here?
Yeah.
I wanted to say,
Go ahead.
I was shocked about the Tyson Fury deal because, so much as we've heard about him being a loose cannon and all this other stuff, I didn't think somebody would have committed to Tyson Fury for like a multi-fight deal, and as far as the contract goes, it'd be interesting to see what sort of like biannual psychiatric review clause they got in there. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting point.
Precise. I agree with you, and you know what? This could be the best thing that could happen to him, because it kind of keeps you in line. It's like kind of like when you're institutionalized, you're in this program for rehab. For somebody that is trying to stay sober, they're committed to something that's gonna keep them in line, and I think this is gonna keep them in check.
Yeah,
This is an
probably,
example.
but I mean, whether that's the case or not, you'd be an idiot being Tyson Fury and not signing that deal either way. You know what I mean? So it was a no-brainer to sign that deal. It's a great move for them, sure. But it's just it's just interesting to see if he could keep his shit together. I think he can. Go ahead, man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you'd done, mate. And I think what they've probably done is, and this is just my opinion, it's just the way I kind of see it at the minute, is they've probably looked at the fact that, like, he had the motivation and whatever the sort of like the emotional wherewithal, the willpower, whatever, to get himself back from where he came from, and that coupled with the fact that going forward, considering AJ sitting there, like that fight's going to be huge. I think they've probably just looked at the situation and thought, look, like if he's tied into a contract, he's kind of really he's going to be bound by that contract, and I think that's probably the way they've looked at it. They've just thought he's worth rolling the dice on, based on the fact that there's fuckloads of money in. I mean, Fury AJ in the UK, at Wembley or something, or a big stadium. That's a fucking big fight, man. That's a big fight, and there's potential for two of them, isn't there?
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with 100%. Yeah, but yeah, I'm right here, by the way. I feel that Tyson Fury's a $100 million contract with ESPN, T Sports with Frank Warren. I felt that it was a good deal because it gives him a lot of leverage, not only with Deontay Wilder, but it potentially, if he defeats Deontay Wilder, will give him a huge 50-50 or even more than leverage against Anthony Joshua. Because right now, what they're really trying to do is trying to get as much purse as possible. I feel that I don't think Tyson Fury got a 50-50 purse with Deontay Wilder. I think it was 60-40, but Tyson Fury was okay with it. But I think now, if they do a rematch, I feel that it would 100% have to be 50-50. And whether we like it or not, ESPN has overall 86 million. I think has a viewership or subscribers of 86 million viewers or subscribers. I'm not sure the exact.
I think you're right. Yeah, they got about that because I mean ESPN itself is just a big corporation. It's bigger than Fox Sports when it comes to sports, right? Fox is a big network itself, but ESPN is bigger than Fox Sports.
Yes.
So he's gonna, like you said, it's gonna be it's going to be interesting to see how negotiations get done with Wilder or AJ, because I put it this way: I think AJ still might be the A side, but it might be a 1 versus A2 kind of thing, especially if Tyson Fury was to rematch Wilder and beat him. Right, if he goes in there, and I think he will. I think if they fight again, I would have to, like before I was on the fence in that. I was leaning a little bit towards Wilder because of the inactivity of Fury. But with Fury now, the shape that he looks in and the money that's behind him, the kind of confidence he has, and people were talking, Precise was bringing up he's wondering if they have like a psych evaluation, in other words, in this contract. I think a guy like Tyson Fury, those type of people that have issues, when they're on the straight and narrow, they're really on the straight and narrow. Like they really make up for lost time. And that's their most dangerous. I can see Tyson Fury getting the money, achieving all what he wants, and then falling off the wagon type of thing. Right? But he's not gonna do it until he achieves the goals that he wants to do, and this is gonna be the most dangerous Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
No, I was just gonna say, if you're Deontay Wilder and his team, you can't cry that you want 50% or you didn't get it when you wanted to make the negotiations with Joshua. Then here you are in a fight that you got a tie, but most people think you did lose. That now that Fury's in this position, you can't complain or you can't make the negotiations hard if Fury pushes for 50%, because he's done that himself.
Like Wilder has every right to negotiate. It's a business, right? Don't get me wrong, but he should know his fucking place. Tyson Fury conceded a lot by coming to US and fighting him, and he got fucked. Let's just put it this way. So, the ball is in Deontay. He's the one who has to redeem himself, right? And he's the one who has to try to get his lick back and try to get his honor back, right? So he has to make concessions now, especially given the fact that Tyson Fury already did that. So that's just how I see it.
But the problem is,
I think AJ's still the A side. I don't agree. Sorry, man. Sorry, bro.
No, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I just wanted to say quickly, I think as things stand at the minute, AJ's still the A side. I think it just depends on, if Fury beats Wilder, if that fight even happens, and the numbers that it does. I just think as things stand at the minute, from a financial standpoint, AJ's like way bigger than either of them. So I think that's the main thing these guys promoters take into consideration, isn't it? When figuring out splits and everything, it's who brings the most in a financial way, and that's beyond without a shadow of a doubt at this point.
But if Tyson Fury could establish himself in US and Like it or not, money is there's still more money in the US because they charge more for pay-per-view and the
Yes.
tickets are more expensive. You know what I mean? It's more of a quality thing versus quantity in the UK. So if Tyson Fury can establish himself in the US, I think the fight should happen in the US. And I'm not so sure AJ will remain. I mean, maybe by a slight margin, but no, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
Tell him to
It's a
I see
tell.
toss
that
up.
I
It's
see right
Go ahead.
now. Oh, it's okay. Oh yeah.
No,
I
no, go
see.
ahead, bro.
Thank you. I see right now. I'll be honest, because like my YouTube channel is Right Hero, by the way. Also, and I also predicted to Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder. I feel that AJ right now is the A side, but he does need Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury to get to the next well and get that extra payday. If he wants to get like 50, $60 million, he needs them. So now this next rematch, whoever wins this fight is going to be the A side.
Yeah, yeah, man. I was just gonna say that's, and like I said, I had picked Fury to or Wilder to win the first one, and he lost, in my opinion. And
Okay.
I'm fucking. I'm not picking. That's twice Fury proved me wrong. Once with Klitschko and once with Wilder. I'm not picking against Fury again unless he fights AJ. Then I'll be kind of on the fence about it. But I'm not picking against him again, bro.
Me neither.
Because he's
Well,
proved me wrong twice, bro. Yeah.
He
they're
could beat
calling it. Yeah.
he could
Sorry.
beat both
They're
guys.
yeah.
Boxing wise, he could beat both of these guys. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not even doubting that. I won't even doubt that. The only thing that I doubt with Fury is his commitment to just staying disciplined in the ring. I think those knockdowns were mistakes done by Tyson Fury. I watched that fight again. I said, let me just go over this fight again, and the knockdowns were like mistakes, too much head movement, but that could be polished up, right? Like that could be polished, like unnecessary movement that he was doing.
It was
Um,
really fatigue.
that could be it too, man.
And
Well,
I
that's
You
it.
think
know.
That well, just let me just say one thing real quick here. That we talked about that from a technical standpoint. We've mentioned that before the actual fight and afterwards that you can't give Deontay Wilder free shots to your temple or to your forehead because he hits you there, you're going down, or at least he's stunning you. And that was a problem with Tyson Fury. He was getting a little too overconfident even after the first knockdown. So like you guys are saying in the rematch, he needs. By the way, right, we got some feedback. Do you have your volume all the way up on your earphones or?
Oh, I don't have here. It's on speaker.
Yeah, okay, because we hear
Yeah,
the
that's
feedback
what
there.
it is. The speaker.
Yeah, we hear the feedback from the speakers.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure I put it on mute when I'm not
All right.
talking.
Yeah, thanks, man. So that's all I'm saying is that Tyson Fury needs to tidy up. Now, as whether he can beat Joshua, I don't know. Yeah, I think definitely from a boxing standpoint, Tyson Fury has the better skills, but Joshua better boxing
I'll put
skills
it
than
this
Wilder.
way. I agree with you, BDA. I think Joshua, um, and I know some people have been disagreeing. I think Joshua, the Tyson Fury that fought Deontay Wilder, had Joshua got him hurt, I think it would have been a lot worse for Tyson Fury
yeah.
because there's more boxing. There's more boxing. There's more of a technical boxing approach to Joshua than there is Deontay Wilder. Right? Deontay Wilder doesn't set punches up. He just lets it go. That's what he does. He lets it go. And you could see from the knockdown. I mean, he didn't close in. He just threw him. He just threw him. He just threw those punches and they landed. And I think that yeah, he would have been in some trouble. But in terms of just boxing ability, and that's what really wins fights. Like they say, skills pays the bills, and there's some truth to it. I think boxing ability, he's the better boxer between all those guys. And if it turns into a boxing fight, I have to say he wins.
Yeah.
Joshua got
It's it.
outboxed by a 6'2" fat cruiserweight, man. That's in his, what was he, like 38, 39? I don't remember exactly.
What are you talking
Povetkin.
about? Povetkin, yeah, he was
He
Povetkin.
outboxed him. I mean, yeah, he got caught eventually, but that's because he had to go into Joshua's wheelhouse to get his punches off. Tyson Fury won't have to do that.
That's a good point.
It's interesting how they're talking about this as like these guys are like the three-headed monster. I think these guys, it's an interesting combination, and they talk about Fury, Joshua, Fury, Wilder, Fury. So I think they're jostling for position, and clearly Joshua being the one ahead. But then Fury got this contract now, and Wilder's been remaining silent for these last few days. So it's interesting to see how they're gonna come up with a business plan for him to be what am I trying to say here? Be relevant. But that's all I wanted to say.
I say that I think Deontay Wilder, even though I'm a huge fan of Deontay Wilder, I just feel that I think he missed out on his opportunity to really take full position of the heavyweight division. If he beat Tyson Fury, in this first match, it would have basically case closed. He would have a huge opportunity. He would have a huge advantage of getting that 50%, A side, or at least, half of the purse if he fights Joshua. But the problem now is that I think he took Tyson Fury for granted. Tyson Fury is an amazing boxer. He has amazing footwork, head movement, and in my opinion, I felt he beat Deontay Wilder. But he competed against Deontay Wilder where he wasn't even in shape. This second rematch, I feel that he's going to embarrass him. He's going to embarrass him badly because Deontay Wilder does the same thing over and over again. He just has a right hand. He has a decent jab. He doesn't set up his punches. It's like if you look at Tyson Fury, you look at like Billy Joe Saunders. These type of fighters that are pure boxers. They're hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
By the
My
way,
takeaway is that
we got Falpo. Yeah, Falpo, go ahead.
Go ahead, Falpo.
I was saying my takeaway is now I don't think any of these good fights are going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the.
You might be right. You might be right because these guys. I think Tyson Fury just did a power move. That's just like this is just
more build up.
Yeah. Tyson
They're
Fury
gonna Maypack the shit out of us.
Maybe.
I think so, man.
That's what might happen.
Let's hope not.
I mean,
now Tyson Fury has his own ideas. He's like, no, I'm not playing A side to nobody now.
B side.
Excuse me, B side. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm not playing the B side to no one, and I'm giving myself a fair shot in the political spectrum too. Right? Like this is boxing. We have to talk about it. It is what it is. There's politics behind this. We know that if he would have had this ESPN deal going into the Wilder fight and pulled off that performance, he would have got the decision. That's what would have happened.
Yeah.
And what are the chances that he just signs a deal with ESPN and the first thing they do is do a joint promotion with DAZN or Showtime?
Oh, that'd be great.
It's big enough like that. To be honest, I'm not sure that fight's big enough for a joint, like for it to be shown on two networks. I'm not sure it is. One thing that this is something I was thinking about. Like, I'm not sure about it enough to argue the point. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Wonder what people think. I haven't really thought about it enough to decide whether I actually believe it or not. What's the chances that like all three sort of like sides, like promoters and whatnot, have all got together and said if we all sign, like, like the way that it's ended up is they're all on different networks and stuff. Like, what's the chances that they've all got together and said, like, let's like you were saying, like, May Packers for fucking another 2 years, have like
sounds like a reasonable plan. Yeah,
have Wilder fight the winner of Brazil, White, and AJ fights Miller, and then some of the bomb and takes us into fucking 2020, like, and it's all
but who? But who is Fury?
Precise fell off.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is kind of like Foul Post said, because now you got one guy with the ESPN, one guy with the Zone, one guy with Haymon. So it might make things a little tricky.
And Wilder's the oldest one from the three of them.
Yeah, it might make it a little tricky. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I mean, I want to see these fights as bad as anybody, but
I think the thing is, things ain't going well for Wilder full stop, are they? Look, like, no matter what angle you look at it from, like, and I agree with what Precise said earlier. I don't think this is a guy with a lot of confidence. I said this before. Like, I saw an interview with him where he repeated about 11 times, 12 times how great his life was. When you repeat something like that many times, you're trying to convince your fucking self as much as you're trying to convince anybody else. Do you know what I mean?
Fury,
like,
Abstract?
Oh, Wilder.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Says things about how blessed he is, and he keeps saying it and repeating it. I'm always caught skeptical of people that tell you something and then repeat it like 20 times.
You're right. You're right. Like my girlfriend all the time, my ex-girlfriend. Oh, you're so big, BDA. You're so big. Eventually, you start thinking, is she lying or is she just after? But I wanted to say regarding Fury, I will say this. I like his attitude outside the ring. Well, when he's not, talking about offing himself. But I like his attitude outside the ring. The problem is, though, let's face it, guys. Inside the ring, not all that entertaining. His offense, he doesn't really flow. I mean, he's got a good jab, but that right hand, if he wants to beat Wilder even more convincingly than the last time, he needs to put a couple of right hands together, man. Because that jab, he already proved with the judges, it ain't going to cut it.
And that's the point I was trying to make before I got bounced off. Is like, he's getting $20 million a fight. They're going to have to line up credible opponents in order to make money on this deal. So I think they are looking at the big fights. When, where, how, who knows? But they're going to have to pull the fucking cat out of the hat in order to recoup their investment.
I will say that ESPN doesn't really have a lot of heavyweights. Majority of like the good heavyweights are either in the Zone or on Showtime. So
yeah. Who's he gonna fight if it's not gonna be one of those guys?
Yeah, because if you account for those 5 fights, a fight with Joshua, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. Joshua and the rematch with Wilder, and the rematch clause for a third or another fight with Joshua, if that came to fruition, that's like 3-4 fights right there. I mean, that's getting their money back. If that's the route they chose to get their investment back.
That's like getting their money back and then some, if they could pull that off. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's included. I don't know how they think, but that's just interesting if that's the way they're gonna go.
I don't remember what it was with Pacquiao. I think he had like a $10 million guarantee, or was it 20? I don't remember exactly. But Bob Arum was complaining how he can't pay Pacquiao that much, right? And Pacquiao, I would say at that time, was still a bigger star than Tyson Fury, probably.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to line up. They're gonna have to line up some good opponents, man. And
Hopefully,
Fury, to your point, he's gonna have to fight more excitingly.
Hopefully they don't make that fight pay-per-view right away, because they're putting Khan. Was that?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna say they're gonna put Crawford Khan on pay-per-view, so I hope they don't put Fury against Soul Scrub as a pay-per-view fight, because they gotta pay him his quota,
Right.
Well, hold on. Recognize wanted to say something. Sorry, and then Abstract, you'll go after.
No, what I was going to say was, so it's a 5-fight deal worth $100 million, right? Is that the deal? Is that the right?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, so they will have to like put him in there with guys that are going to be they're going to be able to recoup the money at least after paying them. So I can't see why, if they're willing to pay obviously $20 million to Tyson Fury, why they can't offer like a good deal for Deontay Wilder to do the rematch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that means that the money's there. You throw Wilder's name in the mix. It should be pretty easy to pay these guys and make the fight happen and even make Wilder some money. Maybe Wilder makes more money because Tyson Fury has a bigger, a bigger budget to work with now.
Abstract wanted to go after, and
yeah.
Go ahead,
all I wanted to say was regards what Precise said, he's got to fight decent opponents, and you might be right there, but is it plausible that given it's a 5-fight deal, and given what you guys were just saying about he's got to be more exciting and everything, that they feed him a couple of bumps so he can knock them out and start, that in combination with the way he talks and everything, try and make him a bigger star, and then the 3rd or 4th fight be one of those fights. That's the way I'm kind of.
Well, people fell off.
I was just gonna say I'm still on the fence whether I'm gonna buy Spence, Garcia, or fucking Crawford Khan, depending on who they match Teofimo up with on the undercard. I might be buying Crawford Khan instead of that fucking Errol Spence. I gotta see.
That's a good point. Let me check. Now that you mention it, let's check that out. Who has the better undercard? I'm looking for the undercard here.
Because the Spence Mikey undercard is dog shit. BDA.
Well, look, they got. Oh, hold on a second. G Boogie just donated via the super chat. Shout out to G Boogie. G Boogie and everybody else. Remember, if you donate via the super chat, you can leave a customized message, which I will personally read for the masses. Not only will I read it once, I will read it twice for your dirty asses. So thanks again, G Boogie, for your contribution. You keep the BDA train rolling. All right. Sorry, what were you saying, Johnny Boy?
No, I was just saying I'm on the fence about which one of them I'm buying. I ain't paying for both of them, motherfuckers,
Well, look,
bro. I'll have somebody ghetto rig one of them and buy the other one.
Well, look at the undercard here for Spence versus Mikey Garcia. David Benavides, who I enjoy watching as a fighter, versus Jalen Love. Not a bad fight. Luis Neri, who I never wanted to see fight again after his shenanigans, is going to be taking on Mac Joe Arroyo. Not a bad fight, especially considered Mac Joe Arroyo is not a bad guy considering he's named after a burger or something. And then you got, well, this is the bad fight of the night. Chris Arreola against Jean-Pierre Augustin. I don't even know who the fuck that is. I think he's an undefeated guy from the Dominican. I don't know. I'll check his record out later. And then if we scroll down to when's the Crawford? Anybody know when the Crawford Khan fight is exactly?
It's the 20th of April, BDA.
20th of April. All right, let's go check that undercard out. If they even have it. All right, so Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan, April 20th, TBA. They haven't even decided where the fuck it's going to be. Shakur Stevenson versus Christopher Diaz, and Teofimo Lopez versus TBA. You know Teofimo Lopez is going to be matched up against some scrub at the last minute.
Yeah.
And then Shakur Stevenson, who's a good fighter, but he's not exactly the guy that's going to light up the masses with his style. So at this point, I think I know which pay-per-view I'm going for, and it's not Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan. How about the rest of you guys?
Yeah. I think so.
It's 420, so you can smoke enough where you won't feel so bad about buying.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
But then you have to see Khan visit the promised land again.
I don't know, man. I've had enough of watching poor Amir Khan getting
Bud
snapped.
is going to be fighting on Bud Day.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on paper still. I can't even do that, bro.
All right, let's go in order. Abstract. Which pay-per-view are you even gonna at all? If you had to buy one pay-per-view, which one would it be?
Which one had the Harriola fight on it, and that I wasn't really listening to what you said.
The fuck's the matter with you? How dare you not listen to me when I'm talking?
I've been working all day. Behave yourself. Tell me.
Behave yourself, BDA. Behave yourself.
Your fear of capture and imprisonment is an implant from millions of years ago.
All right, sorry, what?
Tell me the undercut again.
Chris Arreola is going to be fighting on the Garcia Spence undercard.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
To be honest, I don't pay for them anyway. Generally, I fucking very rarely pay for them. Sorry, I don't. But like that Garcia Spence that's not a good fight anyway. Let's be honest. It's Brook, Triple G, or Canelo Khan all over again, isn't it? Khan's just going to be doing the chicken dance as soon as Crawford decides to turn it up. I'm going from one fight to the other. Spence. Garcia is just not big enough, so like that's not going to be a good fight for me.
All right, so I suppose, gun to your head, you'd pick Crawford versus Khan.
I think that's a more competitive. I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to be hugely competitive, but at this point anyway. But it's more competitive than Spence Garcia.
Hey, listen, it's slim pickings at this point. All right, let's go in order. Precise. I don't even know if you buy fights where you're at, fucking South America, but if you had to buy one, let's say you had to pay for it, which one would you choose and why?
Well, first of all, just for the record, the last pay-per-view I bought was the last pay-per-view that I bought, and it was Mayweather De La Hoya. But if I had to choose, I'd probably go with Khan, Crawford, because that fight is a little bit more intriguing to me, and I generally don't give a shit about undercards. Neither one of those is appealing to me, to be honest. Like, you know who's going to win, basically. So as far as the main events go, I think Crawford Khan holds a little bit more intrigue for me.
All right, there you go. Yeah, that's true. It might just be a more competitive fight, Khan versus Crawford. Falpo, how about you? Falpo.
I think Crawford Khan, because I think it'll be more competitive. Yeah, I just think Spence is just gonna
Walk through Garcia.
Beat up Garcia pretty easily. I don't think it's gonna be competitive.
Do you think if Mikey Garcia were smart, let's say Mikey Garcia's getting the shit beat out of him, which is probably what's going to happen. Do you think he should go the Andrew Golota route and just start hitting Spence's balls?
Yeah, that's the best way out.
Why not, right?
No, but what I said last show, what's going to happen is Garcia's corner is just going to throw the towel in early, and you're just going to feel ripped off.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen too, man.
Yeah, I can see it happen.
Exactly what I think is going to happen.
No, it's true. I can see it.
With Khan, with Khan, it's gonna be very dramatic. It'll be entertaining for sure.
Yeah, the knockout should be entertaining. The way he flops around the ring. Gonzalo, how about you, man?
Gonzalo. It's the first time Gonzalo's lost for words.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'm having a debate here with my wife. I'm trying to move to General Santos City. She don't want to, and it's just getting crazy.
Just move out of the Philippines, man. What the fuck?
General Santos.
I thought you guys were arguing about shimmying the bamboo stick.
That's what I got the real Wi-Fi now. Yeah.
All right. So
I was gonna say.
We talking boxing. Gonzalo's talking about where he's gonna live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought Gonzalo would change the subject? Hey, that's.
No, but yeah, the cards. As far as
but which one would you pick? Which one would you pick? Is a question. If you had to pick one pay-per-view, if you had to pay for one, which one would you pay for?
Oh, to watch live, I'd watch Mikey Garcia versus Spence.
No, you're just saying that because fucking Garcia's of Mexican descent.
Yeah.
Well, I've met Robert Garcia. He's a cool dude.
There you go.
I always wanted to go down there and talk to those guys, hang out in the gym over there. They seem like, it's all right, But, no, Spence is a good character, too. He's been remaining humble. He gives credit to Mikey. He doesn't look shook. Mikey's the one that seems a little too full of his pride that's the way I see it.
Well, why would he?
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to be honorable and say, I'm a 4-time division world champion, and he speaks a good game. But the more I see this, he still looks very much smaller than Spence, and we got less than a month to go, And I'm just thinking as far as entertainment value, okay, you never know what can happen, but it looks like Spence is just too big for him. But I'm also kind of concerned about Mikey. I keep getting this ideas in my imagination, like a figment of my imagination. That when they said that Robert Garcia goes in there and jumps into the ring and stops the fight, I kind of see that happening. I don't know, I keep getting these ideas that Robert Garcia goes in the 10th or 11th round and throws in the towel and just hugs Mikey.
That long?
Gee. I don't know. Yeah, because he's gonna be a tough little guy in there.
I was
disparity, man. Yeah.
Go ahead, Falco.
I see it as it's pretty much. Even though I love Mikey Garcia, I think he's one of the top when it comes to 135, 140, one of the top fighters in those positions. But I feel that Mikey Garcia took this pay-per-view fight for the money. He wants to get. I don't know how much. I think he's getting $10 million. He's not going to get $10 million, $15 or $20 million fighting on a regular main event. So if he's going to get a pay-per-view match, get that money, he's not going to beat Errol Spence. Errol Spence is too big for him. Errol Spence is a weight bully. He really walks around at not 147.
Errol Spence is the best middleweight fighting at Walter right now.
All right, but hold on a second. Just real quick, just real quick, because we'll get back to the subject in a second. Because I also want to talk about Chris Eubank versus Degale. But in the chat room, Pete Stamas has some good advice for you, Gonzalo. He says, if you're getting into a fight with your wife, watch out for your boxing tape collection. You don't want to suffer the same fate of Recognize the Matrix with his tape collection. God forbid. All right, so hold on. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, I was looking at the face-off, Mikey and Spence, and obviously Mikey's much smaller, but his head is bigger and he got a bigger neck. So, to Gonzalo's point, yeah, I'm kind of worried for Mikey because he might be able to take some shots for a while, and it's not a good thing to be taking shots from men that's much bigger. And one last thing, Spence is not humble; he's dull.
Oh, now wait a minute. I mean, listen, the guy, I think he smokes. I think he smokes a lot. That's why he's always so relaxed. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you could call him dull because you saw what happened when he went up to or actually when Terence Crawford went up to him and they started
Exactly.
jawing at each other. But I mean, Spence really. I thought Spence handled himself well. He's not the type of guy that's gonna go out there barking and say, "Oh, I'm gonna beat the shit." He says, "Listen, that's the type of attitude I like. I'll prove what I have to prove in the ring. You can talk all you
But
want."
BDA, I wasn't criticizing him. Like, I don't expect fighters to be humble. Not at all. No, don't be humble. But I'm just saying, people say, "Oh, this guy's so humble. That guy's..." No, he's not humble. He's just not a very good talker. That's all. But
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
okay.
expect fighters to be humble at all. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Spence is wooden, man. I've got an ashtray with more personality than Spence. I mean, look,
Oh,
the thing with Mikey is, yeah, he looked like a real puncher at like lower weights. I think 135 is the last time Mikey's power carried up. Even at 140, he couldn't hurt Lipinets, couldn't hurt Broner. He's just not going to have anything to keep Spence honest. He's just, that's the problem I think Mikey's going to have. He's not going to be able to hurt Spence at all.
yeah, man. That's like you said, pretty good puncher at lightweight, 126, 122, 140. He can still drop guys, like he did with Lipinets, or at 135 with Easter Jr. But I mean, fucking Errol Spence is something else. Like you guys were said, like Johnny Boy said, 160 pounder. Natural.
You know what, BDA?
Hang on, Gonzalo, 1 second.
Go ahead, yeah.
When Crawford got in Spence's face, Crawford was like, "Don't go to the body, son. I'm gonna counter you," and all this other shit. And Spence was like, "Man, I'm high. Just let me chill, bro."
You sounded like Dave Chappelle there, man. What the fuck?
He was doing his Beaumont Livingston impression with Jackie Brown, bro.
You know what, BDA?
Yeah.
You know what I'm kind of getting tired of hearing also? And I mean, no disrespect to Mikey, Mikey's a good fighter, and when they keep saying, they mention the name Mikey, then they mention Mikey, he's technically sound. His fundamentals always, okay, we get it. We understand that he's technically sound and that his fundamentals are great and that the screws are tight in his game, but you can only get them so tight. And he's talking about we're gonna see a Mikey that we never seen before. When you refer to a Mikey we never seen before, it's usually you're stepping outside your not stepping outside your fundamentals. But you can only tighten up that game so far. And when you're talking about I'm gonna show a different level to my game, and that's basically him saying that he's gonna do something different, step out of like what he's already used to doing. Because he could be very conservative, not waste many punches. He can keep a tight guard, move well with his feet. What when he needs to move and plan himself. But you can only tighten that up so much. But when you're talking about there's a different level to me, I don't know where that level when he's referring to that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree because Mikey has like 2 gears. So where's this other level gonna come from? I've never seen it. Not even like Mikey, an inkling.
I think when they say you're gonna see a different Mikey is when he gets knocked out. That's what they're talking about.
Oh, he's gonna run like hell.
Yeah, that's
I see really that Mikey Garcia, like I said, I like Mikey Garcia, but I think he got, like I said, it's a money fight. I do feel he's fighting for the money. I think he knows he's gonna lose, but I do feel that his wins over Robert Easter and Lipinets and Broner or whatever, I think that it got to his head a little bit because you have to understand, Errol Spence, he knocked down guys that don't really go down. Like Lamont Peterson doesn't really go down in fights, and Errol Spence got him down. Chris Van Duren got him down. Chris Algieri got him down. Kell Brook is a big welterweight. He's not 147. He's really supposed to fight at 154. And Errol Spence broke that guy's eye socket. So Errol Spence is not an average welterweight. He walks around at 180. There's a reason why people are fighting.
Yeah, but GGG is the one who broke his eye socket, dog. I think it wasn't fixed all the way as what it was, bro. But
wasn't it the other eye socket?
It was the other eye socket, though. But
the problem is when you get your face broken. And look, I've never got my face broken or anything like that, but I can imagine that the other side becomes not as strong. They're all connected. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
That's quite a coincidence that the other side would break.
Well, maybe that's to Errol Spence's credit.
Listen, when you're probably like fucking protecting the side that got broken, and you're letting the guy hit you on the other side to make up for the you don't want to get hit in the spot you got your face broken before. That could happen.
That's kind of like when you get your boxing tape collection thrown out. Now you protect your Rocco Siffredi tape collection even more. Is that what you're trying to get at there? Recognize?
Well, Exactly. That's what I meant.
Exactly.
It's like this. If he got his face broken on one side, the other side is gonna take more stress. Kind of like a building. When one side is cracked, all the stress transferred to the other side. You know?
It's
Yeah,
all connected.
I hit, bro.
Yeah.
I had 3 surgeries on my right hand, and like I
The
can't
fuck.
fucking hit the bag like I want to anymore because my hands all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like you, and I don't hit it as often as not nearly as often as I used to. But like
Hmm.
even now, my hands all fucking mashed up. I can't hit it like I used to. I'm worried I'm gonna hurt it again.
Well,
I
that's
call bullshit. I don't think he broke his eye socket. I think Kell Brook just quit. That's just my opinion. I call bullshit.
I would call that too because like if you look at don't get me wrong, it might have a little bit of a factor, but look at the GGG fight and the Errol Spence fight. When they called off the fight with GGG, Errol Spence, Kell Brook was still like he wanted to fight some more. He still was like he didn't like take one knee and say, you know what, I can't do it. But with the Errol Spence fight, Errol Spence, he didn't even look like he fatigued. It was like the 7th or 8th round. He was still coming at Kell Brook, and Kell Brook literally just took a knee. I was like, oh my gosh.
He probably
Yeah,
thought
he
he
got the
broke it.
fight beaten out of him. He got the fight beaten out of him. I don't know.
Jesus. Who's
He
who's
had
in?
a good excuse. It was believable because something like that just happened, and I think they just went with that as a PR move. But I could be completely wrong. It's just kind of what I see.
But what does this? What does this fight prove? That's what I don't get. Errol Spence. Listen, he's what 29, 28, something like that. They need to make that Thurman or Porter or Crawford fight ASAP because he already wasted 2018. He can't afford to waste 2019. I mean, this Mikey Garcia
I
fight
agree.
does nothing for him. Nothing. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, BDA. I'm
Well,
sorry.
like
You know what it proves, BDA? It's an IQ test for the boxing fan today, basically. That's
and
what
you
it
think
is.
people are
We'll
gonna
see
pass?
if it sells. Then boxing fans are fucking garbage. If the fight flops, then you can still have hope for boxing as a sport.
You know what, bro? That's BDA. That's what I say, bro. I'm like, I see these dudes ranking Errol Spence in the top 3 pound for pound. I'm like, bro, he is barely, if at all, cracking top 10. Barely.
we
Barely.
have to be honest though. We can't deny the fact that Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, even like I'm not really gonna count Terrence Crawford because he's in a different promotion, but a lot of these fighters are ducking Errol Spence. A lot of these fighters, even
Especially
before Errol
Keith
Spence,
Thurman.
a
Especially
lot of
Keith
these
Thurman.
fighters, not only Keith Thurman, a lot of these fighters do not want to fight. Even the new guy they call Sean Porter's fighting the Cuban guy. You guys, he doesn't want to fight Errol Spence. Nobody wants to fight him.
But maybe because they
yeah.
all know he's like the favorite, and they're not going to get a decision off of him.
I agree with you, bro. Just not Crawford, because Crawford don't give a fuck. He'll fight that dude in his
That's what I was
backyard.
saying. Yeah. That's why I said I agree with Crawford. I don't think Crawford's scared.
Right on.
Now,
Hey,
what do we base
this is what I want. Go ahead, BD.
Well,
Sorry.
just quickly. What do we have any proof for this? Or because I think I remember hearing again. I haven't heard anything about that, but I heard that Porter really wanted that Spence fight.
Porter did not want. He never. Whenever he was interviewed about Errol Spence, he never mentioned Errol Spence's name.
I know, but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
like
And he literally went to the WBC. He went to the WBC rankings to try to go after Keith Thurman again. He's not. He can easily go after Errol Spence if he wants to. He's not. He's not trying to go after Errol Spence.
You know what, right here, bro? After that Josezito Thurman fight, bro, Danny Garcia was all over the shit calling out Keith Thurman out, bro. Like, bro,
Yes,
go, like, bro, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, like, dude, either see if even a fucking Sean Porter Danny Garcia rematch would be better than this bullshit. You're fighting Adrian fucking Granados, homie.
I agree.
And
Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Sean Porter fought a better level of opposition than. Obviously, he didn't beat Kell Brook, but it is what it is. He fought a better Kell Brook. Sean Porter doesn't strike me as somebody who would duck anyone, but all of that is irrelevant. Whoever is scared of you or whoever we think is scared of you, that doesn't make you a better or worse fighter. That doesn't put you on the pound for pound list just because people might be scared of you. For me, Errol Spence hasn't done anything to be even in the conversation for pound. I think it's ludicrous. I think it's just like
I agree.
It's preposterous how little fighters have to do these days to be put on a pound for pound list. I mean, look at what Pacquiao did before he ever cracked the pound for pound list. All the
different divisions he already went through. He already made boxing history. He had already done something that has never been done in the history of boxing. And then after he beat Barrera, I think they put him on the pound for pound list. So
He has
I
never had his
agree.
chin checked.
I agree, precise.
I agree.
I agree. Well, and like I remember we were talking the one time, bro, and it's we were saying it's just ridiculous the standards people hold Lomachenko to, bro. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, dog. Like the kid is already undersized at lightweight. Not everybody is fucking Manny Pacquiao. He's an all-time. Pacquiao's one of the best of all time. Okay? Not everybody's fucking Manny Pacquiao who can just keep jumping and skipping weight classes like that.
I just want
Spence is a good fighter. I don't mean to, shit on the guy, but like top 10, we have thousands of boxers out there. He is top 10, top 5 of all the boxers in the world.
Well, can I just say something?
Yeah,
let me just say something real quick about pound for pound list. I mean, everyone has a different pound for pound list, but let me just tell my little problem here with pound for pound list. I mean, you look, I'm putting it up on the screen here. Ring Magazine's top 10 pound for pound list. They got, talking about unproven fighters, they got Naoya Inoue over Sisraket Sorangvisai, who has wins over Roman Gonzalez.
Fuck out of here.
And over Francisco Estrada. I mean, come on.
Crazy.
Come on. So that's what I'm saying.
Crazy. That is crazy.
This guy knocked out Chocolatito, right?
Cold.
I mean, fucking unbelievable knockout. And he's got some decent wins after that with Estrada, close fight. And you're talking about Inoue, who has he fought really?
But he's the monster. He's the monster.
But what they're doing is they're not scoring the quality of the opponents. They're just scoring the styles and how you winning.
Exactly.
Going back on Spence, if you look at Spence's record, he's only fought guys that have no power. Like Kell Brook is literally the biggest puncher he's ever fought. And
look at Errol Spence.
The guy was weight drained.
Look at Errol Spence's two best victories: Chris Algieri and what's his name? Brooke, right?
No, I disagree. Lamont Peterson.
Okay, Lamont Peterson. Even Lamont Peterson. Let's throw Lamont Peterson. I'm gonna scratch out Algieri and I'm gonna put in Lamont Peterson to make this point. Lamont Peterson has already been knocked out going into that fight. Okay, he got knocked out at 140 by Matisse. Matisse went in there and blew him out. Okay, that's considered a top, one of his best victories. Kell Brook had got his face broken the fight before, coming back down to 147, and yeah, listen, I was impressed with Spence because I thought Spence was losing the fight, and the first half, and then the second half he just took over. So I was impressed with that. But you're talking about a wounded warrior. You're talking about him fighting a guy who was wounded already.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that given the chance, Errol Spence won't shine. Meaning that if you put him in there with top opponents, he might get the better of those guys, or at least show what he's really made of, and that he is a pound for pound fighter. But that's such a low standard, bro. It's like you want to put him on the pound for pound. It's got to be organic. In other words, let you guys fight. And let the chips fall where they may, and that's how we come up with a top 10. Top 10 is a political, it's like a political tool now to use as negotiate. Well, I'm, Terence Crawford, I'm number one. I don't even agree that Terence Crawford is number one.
Why isn't Tyson Fury on the pound for pound?
I wanted to let Right Hero respond. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh yeah. What I wanted to say, like way back though, is like I wanted to compare. Let's be honest. Compare the two. Who would you put higher, Triple G or Errol Spence? When I talk about Triple G, I say Triple G before he fought Canelo.
Triple G.
No, because let's be honest, if you're gonna put Triple G higher, and all he had was, a very complicated, a controversial decision over Daniel Jacobs. Besides Daniel Jacobs,
I thought he clearly beat him.
Clearly won.
Yeah, I thought he clearly beat him.
All right, then, but
the jab.
Who else?
The only reason why it was controversial is because Daniel Jacobs is American and the fight took place in New York. That shit wasn't.
Who else has Triple G beat?
Yeah, the only thing
hold on, one at a time, please.
He didn't just beat.
Hold on, one at a time. Hold on. One at a time.
He didn't just beat. He knocked out everybody. That's the thing.
Beat Canelo. He beat Canelo, and
he got jobbed in the second fight. It wasn't a
But I'm saying
robbery.
Triple G was higher.
But
Triple G was like number 2 before even for Canelo.
yeah, but like pound for pound is not just about who you beat. It never was just about who you beat. It's also about your skill. And when you look at someone like Triple G, and then you compare him to someone like Errol Spence. Errol Spence is at least one level below Triple G. And the reason why you know this is because when he got to the Olympics, he got schooled by an Eastern European style fighter. Triple G beat all the Americans.
Yeah, but we're talking professional
Triple G was
here.
gold. Triple G was a gold medalist.
He was a world champion. Now, yeah, we're talking. He was a world champion, I believe, in the world championships. Yes, he was a silver medalist. But what I'm saying is that's how you could judge a fighter's skill and pedigree, and of course that's important. Just because he's a professional right now, I mean, your amateur achievements are always considered. They're always being talked about. Whenever there's an American gold medalist, I mean, they dick right the shit out of them. It's always talked about. Amateur experience is always talked about when it comes to Americans, and when it comes to Hall of Fame, it's very important if you had a good amateur record. So of course it's important. But the only reason why I brought it up is because you get to see a fighter's, he proves his pedigree and he shows his skill if he's able to both dominate in the amateurs and professionals. And it's not just about who you beat, was my point. My point was it's also about your skill. Pound for pound was always about skill. And when you look at Errol Spence Jr., he is basic.
Yeah,
You're right. I agree with you with that. I agree with you that Triple G has more skill than Errol Spence, and I agree. I agree with that. Okay, but
I mean, it's debatable, you know. Everybody, if you have different criteria for your pound for pound list than I do, then of course we're not going to agree. But you know, I'm just making a case for me. That's all. For me, he doesn't figure on my list.
My only thing before I let other people talk, my only thing is that like the only thing I got pissed off. I think Triple G. I think he deserves to be in the pound for pound. But when I saw that he was like number 2 before even for Canelo, I was kind of pissed off when he didn't fight Demetrius Andrade, Jamal Charlo, Billy Joe Saunders.
Those guys didn't want to fight him.
They didn't want to fight him.
Let me add something to that real quick, bro. Let me add something to that.
Right, Hero.
Hold on. Let Johnny Boy. Hold on. Let Johnny Boy. He wants to say something.
Okay. If I can jump on after that.
Here's the thing. Don't interrupt. Just Charlo didn't fight anybody in the top 10 at 160. Still hasn't fought anybody in the top 10 at 160. That's first of all. He doesn't even deserve a mega fight with Golovkin. That's first of all. Second of all, Golovkin, the 2 Canelo fights aside, he beat Danny Jacobs. He beat David Lemieux. He beat who at the time were top 10 contenders. Murray, Gill, all these other dudes were in the top 10 at their time, bro. Maybe not right now, but at the time they were. When everybody didn't want to fight Golovkin in 2014, 2015, etc., all those dudes he was knocking out were in top 10 contenders, bro. So yes, he deserved a spot on the pound for pound list. And one more thing real quick. If you want to see a real crock of shit, go look at ESPN's pound for pound list. They have Usyk 9th and fucking Spence 5th or something.
I gotta check that out.
Okay, can I say something, BDA?
That's a bad ranking.
Can I say something, BDA?
Yeah, go ahead, Giselle.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make here real fast. Try to get it all in. When Pacquiao came on the scene and beat Leduaba, he came out of nowhere. He didn't price himself out. He didn't give no excuses. I don't want to fight this guy for this and that. When you really want to go in there and step and try to get, like, for example, the middleweight title, you don't put all these excuses. If you really believe in your skills, you go in there. How many title defenses did Golovkin have? He tied the record, and arguably he could have broke it if they wouldn't have took that fight that he tied with Canelo. So there you go. As far as resume, nobody stepped up because there's many excuses now in this era, whatever the reason might be. If you really want to step up, you step up and you take the belt.
And Gonzalo.
Also, another thing really fast. As far as God-given qualities, Triple G has the best chin I've ever seen to this point in boxing. He's never been rocked. He's never been shook. He's never nothing as far as his chin. Better than Canelo's. Canelo has a good chin, but Triple G has pound for pound the best chin I've seen, and one of the best jabs ever.
And Gonzalo here, I'll add something to that, bro. Speaking of not complaining about getting a fair shake, Roberto Duran, when he fought Leonard the first time, he got $1.5 million. Leonard got 10. You didn't hear Roberto Duran bitching about, oh, I want 60-40. Oh, I want to fight here. Oh, I want to do this and that. And Duran was moving up from lightweight to welterweight. He was going up in weight, fighting the bigger man for far less money, and he didn't bitch about it.
It's
And
like,
like
Just to, just
all
to, just to add on
it's
to
like
Triple
Recognize was
G.
saying. He's that one shiny penny in the last podcast. He's that one shiny penny that stood out amongst all the other ones because all the other ones didn't want. All of a sudden, this thing about Demetrius Andrade, Charlo, that just came to light about like one year and a half ago. And
All right.
even then, now I don't think they're that willing to fight him unless they get a sweet deal.
All right, before we
Like
continue,
Pop said,
Foul Paul,
this
hold on.
will tell
Foul
you-
Paul wanted to say something and then Precise. Go ahead, Foul Paul.
the way I see it qualitatively when it comes to Triple G, you can't get to his level of being a Kazakh fighter unless you're an all-time great. It's just that simple. The guy did something right.
Right.
Yeah, like and to answer what you asked me, Falpo, like I just don't like Canelo, man. Like if you want to put him on your pound for pound list, I'll give you that. You know, he's a tremendous fighter. There's no doubt about it. But for me, the way I look at the pound for pound list, I'm not too keen on putting two fighters in the same weight division on that damn list because there are 17 divisions and 10 spots. So for me, it's like if you're not sorting the shit out in your own division, I'm not really trying to put you on that pound for pound list. You know what I mean? And the only time where I'm okay with shit like that is when we got somebody like Mayweather and Pacquiao, two special all-time great fighters in the same division. Fine, no problem. But like Canelo,
I just
Triple G, I had Triple G beating him twice, so I can't have Canelo on the pound for pound list. But if you want to, I'm not arguing.
Yeah,
I
but
had 24 rounds that were pretty close and a lot of great boxing.
All right.
Yeah, but let's something we're forgetting here. Canelo loaded his gloves and he was roided up for both fights with Triple G. I mean, come on, man. It's just like
No, I
Triple G
know.
should be
And he was
given
10
credit.
years 10 years the younger too.
Yeah.
I get all that.
Triple G was always fighting the American politics. Let's just face it. He was
Yeah.
always fighting that. This is why, listen, Demetrius Andrade, the Charlo brothers, are bigger men than Golovkin. They're just bigger men. I think I told you guys this story. I saw Golovkin in person. He's barely 5'9" or 5'10".
Yeah.
He's 5'10", excuse me. He's barely that. I cleared him. Like, he was much shorter than me. Not like, a little shorter. He was much shorter than I was.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm looking at him and I'm saying to myself, this is a little dude.
All right, but
Charlo
let's not get into the whole fucking.
Andrade, bigger. Those are bigger men than him. So
Look.
they stayed at 154 because they wanted to.
All right, hold on a
They stayed at
second.
154 because they thought Triple G was too much of a challenge at that time.
All right.
Yeah.
Now they want to
Recognize.
step
Hold on.
up and fight because I'm sorry.
Recognize. There's a lot of background noise in where you're at. Are you in a fucking mall or something?
No, I'm at a store right now getting something to eat.
You trying to get a porn mag?
No, I'll just say this. Listen, I'm gonna mute myself because I'm in the store, but I'll say this: they want to fight him now because he's worth more money and he's less dangerous. Even though I still think when he's on his A game and he's still capable of doing that, he'll beat most of these guys. But that's all. I'll say that and I'll mute myself.
Well, and
One thing to the,
go
one
ahead,
thing to the
Gonzalo.
point. Sorry. One thing to the point about Errol Spence and Triple G. Errol Spence has only fought 3 times, I believe, since he got the belt. So Triple G, he got up to like how many defenses until he fought Canelo, which still were great fights in Danny Jacobs. But with 3 fights, people are demanding that Errol Spence is step up. Okay, that he step up. Now I remember when Triple G had a hard time and had to fight the politics, nobody even wanted to mention his name, let alone asking this guy to step up. They were doing the contrary. They didn't want to know about him. Sergio Martinez didn't want to know about him. Nobody wanted to know about him. So they kept as far away as Triple G as they could until they had no choice. Now, unfortunately, yeah, he's 36, 37 when he fought Canelo. They even waited him out. No, not yet. I'm not ready. Canelo said, okay, whatever. He's to the point, but I just kind of find it funny that that's when everybody comes out and says, oh, no, Triple G hasn't fought nobody because 10 years ago they weren't saying this because they didn't want to give him the opportunity. And when he came to the United States, when he was more popular, even then they were kind of skeptical and hesitant. But now all of a sudden they do want to, and I take them up for that challenge because even if they fight him now, I favor Triple G amongst these guys because it could be considered, like Precise was saying, he only lost arguably the last fight, which is still questionable.
You
No,
can't say that. You can't say that about Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders has been champion at 160 for a
No,
while,
Billy
and even
Billy Joe Saunders has been dunking Triple G for the
he
last
hasn't been
4 or
dunking
5
Triple
years.
G. He signed
Because
the contract. Even Frank Warren admitted, and they showed the contract. They signed it. They went to Kazakhstan and signed the contract.
No, that's true. You're right. But let's not forget, Billy Joe Saunders said that he did not want to fight in the beginning. He did not want to fight. This is before the whole Canelo thing and whether or not he was going to take the Canelo fight right after the Danny Jacobs situation. But you're right. He did sign the contract to fight in Kazakhstan. But this is very important. When Triple G was on that title run before he made Canelo strip of the WBC, before that ever happened, he said at a podium when he was supposed to fight fucking what was his name Eubanks, that Triple G would beat him. Billy Joe Saunders said that he would beat him and Eubanks on the same night.
On the same night, yeah.
Dude, you
But
know
signing a contract that we think we saw, that's not like beating anybody. Like
no,
why is anybody getting credit for this? And speaking of Billy Joe Saunders, that bitch ass just vacated the 160-pound division. So fuck him.
Yeah,
that guy's a fraud, man. That guy's a fraad. Yeah,
and
dude's a fraud.
He was fight from nobody for the title. How
and abstract, he did not want to fight. He did not want to fight Triple G at his best. Once again, when it came to Triple G's best, he was avoided. This has a lot to do with politics. It had a lot to do with politics. Okay, it had a lot to do with obviously the fighter not being confident enough to win a fight or steal a fight. Okay, because this is when Triple G was knocking dudes out. He was just making them look like shit. I don't care what people say about Martin Murray. You can suck my dick when you say that he's a bum. He wasn't a bum at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't a bum. He beat fucking Sergio Martinez. He beat him.
All right, recognize.
Fucking Argentina. No, can I get? You know what? This gets me so.
What the hell did you buy at the bodega, man?
Recognize.
Wait. Let me finish, please. I'm gonna do. Let me finish this point.
Let me finish
this point.
Let me finish.
Martin Murray beat Daniel Gill. What the fuck was that guy's name? The Felix Sturm.
Yeah.
In Germany, okay? He beat Sergio. He arguably beat Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez was lucky to come out of there with a decision. Now, I agree. Sergio looked like he was done already. Okay? I would agree with that. Goes in there with Triple G and gets slaughtered. Name me, after that fight, name me one guy who beat Martin Murray the way Triple G did. Who?
Yeah. We were talking
Nobody.
about... Yeah, we were talking
before and after.
Rose struggled with him at a higher weight.
Yeah, recognize.
Martin Murray came close to stopping George Groves towards the end of that fight. He had George Groves on Queer Street. That was 168.
So when people tell me Triple G didn't fight nobody, I say you got selective memory. I can't have a conversation with you. Go fuck yourself. That's it.
And I just want to say one last thing about Billy Joe Saunders. How do you know he didn't sign that contract after he heard a rumor that Triple G signed a contract to fight Canelo just to fucking posture? How do you know he didn't sign that after he already found out that Triple G wasn't going to fight him anyway? I mean, we don't know this. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Price, let me add one
thing.
thing.
Until he was
one thing.
He wasn't going to walk away from Canelo.
Remember when Triple G wanted to get all the belts? He wanted all the belts. 4 or 5 years ago, he wanted all the belts. That's what he was clamoring for. And he didn't get the belts because I remember Billy Joe Saunders, maybe not like the last year within this whole I want to fight Triple G, but before that he didn't want.
Oh, shit. He fell off.
Okay, let me get my point off real quick now. I was just gonna say, fucking Andrade. Come on now. Andrade, bro. This dude has been fighting fucking once a year for the last 3 years, and now he just got pinched with some guns.
What?
He's already been inactive as fuck, and now he just got pinched with some guns.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Can you just clarify what you mean by pinched with guns?
He got arrested for having a gun charge. He got a gun charge.
All right.
Who's this?
Andrade. Let me say this. So as far as I'm concerned, and the dude's been fighting once a year for the past 3 fucking years. So as far as I'm concerned, Andrade isn't even in the fucking picture. And another one, just like Charlo, Andrade still hasn't fought anybody in the top 10 at 160. Still
Well,
has.
well, listen. First of all, Gonzalo, you dropped off. You want to finish your point or?
That was pretty much it.
All right, let me just say
Just
something
saying,
here.
yeah.
Wow.
Because we're going down memory lane here. And Johnny Boy, isn't remember when the lowest former conversation? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. But listen, we can talk all night about fucking. We can talk all night about fucking Golovkin and who he fought, who didn't fight. Oh, sorry.
I got the chin up. I got the trophy for the chin up.
BDA.
sorry,
Can I say one
Gonzalo.
last thing really
No,
fast?
no,
Can I
sorry,
say
sorry.
one-
Sorry, Undercover
last thing-
Asian I got to interject. Undercover Asian just donated to the super chat. Shout out to Undercover Asian. And he says, is Triple G holding out for a third Canelo fight? All right, we'll talk about that next. I mean, well, when we go through the whole things, because real quick, we got into this whole fucking Golovkin thing. I think it's an interesting conversation about who wants to fight him, who doesn't want to fight him. I'm going to pull a Gonzalo here and change the subject a little bit real quick, because all of this started because we were talking about pound for pound list. And I just want to point out a little something else. Somebody brought up the ESPN pound for pound list. Look at this shit.
That was me.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Boy. All right, so they got Lomachenko and Terence Crawford 1 and 2, which is like Ring Magazine has it that way too. Alvarez at 3, Golovkin 4, Garcia a little bit too high for my liking. So is Errol Spence. Again, they got Naoya Inoue over both Usyk and Sorong Visai, and they got Deontay Wilder number 10. So
That's ridiculous.
I hate pound for pound lists. I don't get into them. Don't want to talk about them. Fuck them. I want to talk about the actual things that are going on in the ring.
God.
I think that's much
Yeah.
more
I
interesting.
laughed my
BDA.
ass off at that last one. Man.
That's fucking
BDA,
ridiculous.
BDA,
Oh,
can
my
I say
goodness.
one last thing and I'll quit like really fast?
You'll quit. All right.
Yeah. Not quit like
No, you said quit.
Not quit like quit like Joe Brook. You know, not like
Oh,
him.
all right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Triple G, okay, I respect everybody's opinion, but is anybody gonna give credit for the man for tying the record and arguably losing on a tie that I mean not getting the record on a tie that he could have won that fight? They would have judged in his favor. Are they gonna give him credit for tying the record at least, you know?
Yeah.
That's
He
his
beat the
story.
record. A tie is a title defense.
Okay, I stand corrected. Is he not gonna get credit for that? I mean, he has the record.
All right. Sorry about that. Sorry, but John Gonzalez just donated as well. Shout out to John Gonzalez, who says, this 5 is for Precise. Killing Tito. See you in hell, Tito. For you. Who the fuck is people are mentioning Tito in the fucking chat room? Who the fuck are they talking about, Precise?
I plead the fifth. I had nothing
Yeah.
to do with the man's death.
Who the fuck is
All I'm
Tito?
saying-
Anyway, but hold on,
Yeah,
Gonzalo.
all I'm
Hold
saying-
on.
yeah.
Gonzalo, hold on. So thanks, John, for your contribution. All right, go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, I'm saying he tied the record, and if he was really fighting bums, where was the fighter that was gonna go in there and break the record because nobody stepped up? Okay,
Well, can I say something
It ended
about
the way
that?
it is. And that's just history.
Let me say something about that, and because you guys know I'm a Hopkins fan, I was defending him. I mean, I'm not defending, but picking him rather against, saying that the fight against Golovkin would have been closer than people were expecting. Hopkins, they count his no contest against Robert Allen as a defense because technically the fight took place or something like that. So they count that in his 20 defenses, and he didn't do shit. That
Yeah,
he was-
but no contest means the fight never happened.
But
basically.
technically,
So
that's what they count for some reason. I don't know why. So if you want to think about it, he only had 19 defenses, not 20.
Yeah.
So,
Bernard's the
Interesting.
king of no.
the king of no contest. Come on. And by the way, come on, Precise. What the fuck is this something you don't want to talk about, Tito? What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, would you whack somebody precise? Throw him in the
What the
back.
fuck is going on?
No. It's a long story.
All right, if you don't want to talk about it,
the
that's
man
fine.
is dead. Let him rest in peace.
All right, we'll leave it alone. So yeah, let's move on about this Golovkin thing. I want to move on to the fight this Saturday because I don't know if we're gonna be able to do a show beforehand. Chris Eubank Jr., not Chris Eubanks, as Recognize keeps saying. And by the way, Recognize, you were getting a little too hot under the collar there. A little bit. I don't know what the fuck you bought at that bodega, but it certainly got you all fired up, man.
It's common knowledge the guy's retarded.
No, wait a minute. That's not the fucking thing that I don't know who plays this shit, by the way. But so yeah, let's talk about Chris Eubank versus Degale. I think now. Why does BDA want to talk about this? First of all, because I think 168 pound, that's the 168 pound division is starting to look pretty good. The moves are starting to happen. The pieces are starting to get moved. Everything's starting to get set for a potential consensus number one guy? Because right now, Ring Magazine, and I'll put up the rankings here, they have Callum Smith as number one. Ramirez, I mean, they have him as a champ. Gilberto Ramirez as number one. I don't agree with. He has. Speaking of resumes, who the fuck has he beaten? David Benavides, who's going to be taking on Jalen Love. Caleb Plant, who just beat Uzcategui. Canelo Alvarez is ranked number 4. I tell you, that's Ring Magazine for you. James DeGale, number 5. Dirrell, number 6. Uzcategui, number 7. Eubank, number 8. Caleb Truax still in there at number 9. And Jesse Hart, based on his good performances against Ramirez, at number 10. Guys, what do you think about this fight? Is it just me, or is this fight gonna be an interesting one to keep an eye on?
Fight BDA.
Probably
Degale only has to avoid an uppercut, so I think he can pull it off.
All right, but that's an interesting point because, again, like with Kovalev, prior to the Alvarez rematch, a lot of people are saying right now Degale is finished, he's toast, he's shot. They even think Chris Eubank is going to run through him. That's the thing. Eubank, say what you want about the guy, he gets on the inside against you. He can do some work. Body shots.
He's got good engine as well. He's got a really good engine. I mean, I'm one of the people that thinks Degale is done. I mean, people talk about the first Truax fight where he literally got the shit beaten out of him by a guy that had just been knocked out of middleweight only a couple of fights before. But even the second Truax fight where he won the title back, he didn't look good. In fact, James Degale hasn't looked good for quite a while. Let's be honest. Like I think he's definitely on the slide. I think Eubank's more. Eubank's got more than Truax, and I think if Truax can beat Degale up like that, I think Eubank beats him. I don't think he runs through him, but I do think he'll win.
He's an ugly boy.
Yeah.
Is that a reference?
Funny picture. That's a funny picture you put up, BDA, when he looks like a homeless man.
Yeah, that was at some point. That was the if you wrote James Degale on Google, that was the first photo that came out. I don't know who decided. Somebody must have hated the guy. They picked it.
By the way, rest in peace, Rocky Lodridge. Now that Recognize was talking about a dead guy, and I saw that picture, we're talking about James Degale. Rest in peace, Rocky Lodridge.
Yeah, rest in peace to one of the great ones. If you think about it, he never won well, he did win a championship, I think, but he always fell short in the big ones. Just getting back to Chris Eubank versus Degale. Eubank is 29. Degale is already 33, and that was a good point from Abstract. I mean, if you think about it, people talk about the first Truax fight. Second one, he didn't look so hot either. I think the problem is his work rate is pretty good. I mean, against Bute, he had a bit of a hard fight, but he just doesn't throw enough punches, and sometimes he'll just take pauses where he will stay on the ropes, cover up, and let guys work on him. Medina did that to him. Badu Jack really did it to him. Truax. I mean, this guy against Eubank, he's gonna have to keep moving. That's why I'm saying I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. There's gonna be spots where there's gonna be action, but I think there's gonna be a whole lot of holding from Degale.
Yeah, I agree. I think there'll be quite a bit of holding. I just know that Badu Jack is the greatest 168-pounder of all time. That's all.
I think you're trolling. Listen, apparently
in Sweden, maybe.
Yeah, in Sweden.
Yeah, in Sweden.
Apparently, I miscalculated. I moved on from a subject that everybody wanted to talk about to a subject nobody gives a shit about. So I guess we'll just... you know what? One last thing about this fight. We'll get official predictions. Just get back on track because we haven't done that in a while. We'll start Abstract. Eubank, Degale, who are you picking?
I'm picking Eubank.
All right.
Do I have to say a method?
Yes, you do. You're forced to. Okay. Otherwise, you're out of the show.
Okay, they're coming round to hold the gun to my head. Probably on points.
Eubank on points then?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I don't know if he's Eubank. He hasn't got. I don't think his power he hasn't got a huge amount of power. He didn't have a huge amount of power. I don't think at 160 weren't starching guys.
All right. Let's get this out of the way so then we can move on to something more interesting. Precise, what about you? Who are you picking?
Well, we got a has-been versus a never was, and I truly don't care.
Now, come on, you gotta pick, man. You gotta pick. Don't do this to me. Don't make me look like a jackass.
God, I don't like watching either guy fight. I don't know anything about them except that they both suck. I guess I'm gonna have to go with Junior because he's the future, and Degale's just. I said it when what's his face, the greatest Swedish super middleweight of all time, ruined his career. He was just done after that for me. So I guess I'm gonna go with Junior begrudgingly. Thank you.
All right, I'll pick the round for you. Eubank knockout round 1. How about that?
11 and a half.
11 and a half. All right, round 11. Who else? Oh, yeah, foul pole.
I'm gonna take the Gale. No, sorry. I'm gonna take controversial decision. I think the Gale's gonna win on points, but they're gonna give it to Eubank.
All right. I'm just writing it down. All right. Gonzalo, how about you? Leave the wife alone and come back to the show, Gonzalo. Who you picking?
Yeah. I pick Eubank Jr. Majority decision. I think I'll side with you that the fight will be ugly, but he's the fresher fighter. He got a good engine, like Abstract was saying. And even in the Groves fight, which he was losing and getting outboxed, he was pressuring with his not too effective style in the later rounds. He had the better engine. You can tell he was pushing hard to win. So he could win an ugly majority decision. That's my prediction.
All right, so Eubank, ugly majority decision.
Yeah.
All right, Eubank. I'm just writing it down. Eubank, ugly decision. All right, recognize. How about you? All right, so nobody gives a shit about this fight. Everybody wants to talk about Golovkin. All right, let's go to right here. Right here. Who are you picking for this one?
The fuck?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Right.
Why do I even try? Why do I even
Here's
try?
I got Dale Earnhardt Jr. by majority decision.
They don't care. They don't care because what's his name? I forgot his name.
I don't need. Nobody
Guy
cares.
fighting Eubank.
This is like Chris Algeria versus Phil Lowe Greco, man. Basically.
Oh man.
They don't care. What's his name? The guy's fighting Eubank. I forgot.
Degale. James Degale.
Degale.
Former world champ, gold medalist. Come on.
They don't care about him because he's homeless.
Yeah, all right.
He's homeless.
All right.
Yeah, I got.
I wouldn't give him any change.
Oh, that's a good one.
I got Dale Earnhardt Jr. by majority decision, BDA,
all right.
with a lot of holding and fucking fuckery.
Yeah,
all
but
right.
I heard his sister or something else.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we've shown her picture numerous times. Her being the perverts that we are, and I'm not gonna show it because we're not that type of show. All right, listen. So what the fuck else I was gonna say? All right, so let's get back to fucking. All right, let's go back to something people want to talk about. Triple G. Now that he lost against, supposedly against Canelo in the last fight, some people are calling him out. Some people are saying, "Hey, listen, Charlo looked bad against Russian guy, Kobarov, yeah." And so let's fucking let him fight. Let Triple G fight Charlo because he's got nothing to lose, right? But my thing is this. Degale's with the zone now. So he's got himself pretty well positioned to get a fight at either Canelo, Jacobs, maybe Billy Joe Saunders, Triple G. But what does Triple G do at this point? Because some of you have mentioned he should move up to 168. What do you guys think? Like, who wants to talk about that one?
I think he should maybe fight one more time, fight Canelo a third time, and ride off into the fucking sunset. That's what I think, BDA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I had him winning the second Canelo fight, but even I had to say, like, he did at certain points look like his legs were kind of like going and stuff. Like he looked sort of like out on his feet at certain points. He got a bit of the second wind and stuff. But like, I also don't think he was never a huge middleweight anyway. I don't know about moving up. Like, I kind of agree with sorry, I don't know your name, but Johnny Boy is it? I think it's Johnny Boy. Yeah. Like, I kind of agree with him. Like, try and get one more decent fight and ride off into the sunset. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's almost 37 years old, bro. Just take maybe a who I don't know who he can fight. Fucking take a Sulecki fight or something. Some solid top 10 guy. If he beats him, or somebody in the top 10. If he beats him, get that third Canelo fight, and then ride off into the fucking sunset like Clint Eastwood with a bag of gold, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the Japanese fella, what's the Japanese fella he was gonna fight?
Murata.
Murata, because like that'd be quite a big fight out there. I think Murata's quite a big name out there, isn't he? And I mean that might make sense, I don't know.
Or Brandt, the kid Brandt, he could fight too.
I don't want to see it, but it's gonna be Canelo 3. You just know it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
in
the
the
biggest
Estadio
fight, man.
Azteca. It's gonna be in the Estadio Azteca. That's the bad. Well, I don't want to say bad, but just we're talking about Fair Shake and how he never got it. And
Well,
him
actually,
being older.
Gonzalo, maybe it won't be that big a disparity of fans rooting for because Mexicans love Triple G.
Yeah,
Where's
they
he
do.
fight? Where would he fight him at, Gonzalo?
And the stadium in Mexico City, which holds 110,000, if I'm not mistaken, over
More than that,
100,000
more.
fans.
I think
Oh,
more
no
than
shit.
that.
Yeah, where Julio Cesar Chavez fought Craig Haugen.
Yeah.
Back in,
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
it
for
holds the
sure.
record for seats. So I think that would be like the biggest, even in the Joshua fight, bigger
That's right.
stadium fight.
Oh, that'll be a fun crowd if some Russians fly out there. Russians and Mexicans. You can't go wrong with that one.
Hey, by the way, I just remembered. Did anybody watch last weekend's fights on what was it, Fox with Figueroa
Yeah, Figueroa.
Yeah.
and John Molina?
John
Yeah.
Molina
Figueroa
got
was
fucked.
fat as shit.
Molina got fucked over, I thought. Big time. Those scorecards were super wide. And it was a 10-rounder.
But
I
did
still
he?
thought Figueroa won. I thought he beat Molina.
I thought it was one of them. It could have been like 6-4 one way or the other, or 5-5. All these cards had fucking 8-2 and 9-1 Figueroa. That's bullshit.
I tell you what, though. Fucking Figueroa was on a fast track in 2014, and then he did he get pinched too, Johnny Boy, for something?
Yeah, I think he got pinched with the fucking nickel bag and a DUI or some shit. I don't know. Something
This
like
Did
that.
you guys see how he looked? Did you see how he looked?
Dude,
he looked like
foul pole. He looked
like he was drinking the night before.
I told John Gonzalez that in the I told John Gonzalez that in the hangout. I'm like, dude, I'd have more because he wasn't watching. He's like, tell me what's going on, Johnny. I'm like, bro, I would have more gas in my tank with the fucking Newport hanging out of my mouth than Figueroa's got right now.
Figueroa, it's interesting. Figueroa is an interesting case because he looks, he's like a babyface guy, kind of like Ryan Garcia, but he's just fucking insane. And yeah, he looked flat. Listen, this fucking guy should be fighting at light heavyweight. I mean, light heavyweight. He should be fighting at lightweight, maybe 140. He should not be fighting at 147. That's number one. Number two.
Well, it was going to be at 140. He just didn't make it. He had to force the other guy to make 147.
I'm telling
Figueroa
you.
versus
He missed it
Vazdik.
by 5 pounds.
I mean, what does that tell you right there? Guy's just not that. He's just not into it.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. I watched a few of his fights leading up to the Molina fight, and I mean I have mixed feelings about him because he doesn't know how to dip, dodge, and Patrick Houlihan and the what's the dodgeball.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know how to do none of that.
He's the
he
John
doesn't know
Daly of boxing.
He doesn't know how to move his head. He moves his head, but he dashes into the punches and he gets hit a lot. So what I'm saying is I have mixed feelings because his skills are very limited, but he's winning based on his toughness. But he's just taking these really hard shots, and I'm kind of amazed how he's able to take them and dish out, But that's what he's doing, and it's working for him. So I think he's a shitty fighter, but he's tough enough to win.
Yeah,
as he proved against
what fight are you
the
talking
Ghost
about?
Guerrero.
What fight are you talking about again?
Figueroa.
Yeah,
He's
Figueroa.
the John Daly of boxing.
I don't know who the fuck John Daly is.
Figueroa, I think
He's like
Figueroa is
he's
pretty
a
good. I
golfing.
think
He's a drunk.
All right, hold on a second.
Yeah, he's out of shape. He's out of shape. That's all it is.
But that's what we're saying is like coming up in 2014, he had potential. He was getting in too many brawls, that's for sure. But first of all, the guy's got a chin on him because Molina usually, if he hits you, either he stuns you or you go down. The only guy
with the right hand,
the only guy that could stand up to him for 10 rounds and never really got hit was Humberto Soto. But other than that, almost everybody gets tagged with it. Figueroa was taking them like they were nothing. So he's got what I call crazy chin. He's a crazy bastard, and that allows him to take shots. That being said, I don't see him making that many strides either at 140 or 147 against the elite, because I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was 4 years ago, he fought a guy named Jerry Belmontes. I think it was on the Thurman Diaz undercard, and he got outboxed in that fight. But they gave him the decision, and then Belmontes went on to lose a whole bunch of fights. I think he's got 15 wins and like 10 losses now. But Belmontes apparently had beaten him in the amateur. So maybe it's a question of styles. I don't know. But whether it was a question of styles or not, it doesn't bode well for him. I don't think he would be able to handle, because Belmontes is a mover. And you got Keith Thurman who can move. You got Danny Garcia who can counterpunch a little bit. You got Terrence Crawford who would be a nightmare for him. So
Figueroa looked like one of those guys you'd get into a fight with outside the bar, and you've already drilled him like 6 times, but he's just so fucking drunk he won't go down. Come on, I ain't done yet, mother.
I don't think he was drunk. I think it was just that he was dealing with, he was dealing with some court issues. There was like some stuff he had to go to jail for. You got accused
For DUI.
Look, I saw the Guerrero fight, the Robert Guerrero. I just watched it recently. Robert Guerrero got hurt because he was training with him. But when Guerrero got hurt, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna try to take this guy out. I'm gonna try to take Figueroa out." Guerrero was hitting Figueroa with everything in the kitchen sink, But what does that say about Figueroa? Okay, he can take a punch, but he's getting hit with everything. If he fights somebody with more power and they can go tit for tat with them, or could just or also if he can just like thoroughly outbox him and beat him and hurt him, he's not gonna. I don't think. I really don't consider him elite.
No.
But you're talking about the 140 division. The 140 division is not really that stacked.
Well,
No,
come on.
It's not.
I disagree. I disagree. I think 140 pounds is it's another division that I don't think he'd do too well. Maybe he could, because he does walk. He reminds me a little bit of Antonio Margarito, or actually, you know what? He's more like a
Brandon Rios.
He's more of the Jared Hurd, because he's got he drops
Jared
his hands.
Jared Hurd.
Because he drops his hands and he comes forward, but like Gonzalo said, he gets hit way too much, and I think Regis Prograis would school him. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's a fight that I would not.
I agree.
As long as we're talking about this card, BDA, can I say something about Santa Cruz real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Oh no. Well, after the fight, Ned Rivera kid gave him a. He came in there, saying ain't going nowhere. He stood in there with Santa Cruz and banged it out, which impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
But Santa Cruz, because I didn't even really give the kid much of a shot. I didn't know much about him. But anyways, Santa Cruz went on to call out Tank Davis afterwards. Now, here's the thing with me with that, okay? I wouldn't mind here's the thing. If Tank Davis is going to keep pulling guys up from these lower divisions, it may as well be one of the better guys. You know what I mean? So, obviously, I'd much rather see him fight fucking Burchelt or Loma or something like that. But if he's going to keep pulling guys up from these smaller divisions, then let him fight Santa Cruz or Gary Russell or somebody of that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with Leo Santa Cruz is I like Leo Santa Cruz, but he's a big liar, and he's a big pretender. He called out Gary Russell last year. He never fought Gary Russell. Rigondeaux called out Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton. Both those guys never mentioned their name. They run away. Leo Santa Cruz fought Frampton twice when he could have fought way better opposition. Leo Santa Cruz is the type of fighter where he's not going to fight elite opposition. He's going to hold on to that belt as long as possible.
Carl Frampton wasn't elite?
Carl Frampton just got beat by who? Warrington?
Was Carl Frampton elite?
What? Carl Frampton's not elite. In my opinion, I don't see Carl Frampton as elite.
You don't think he was elite? Okay,
well, Warrington, that was after. We're talking about Frampton a year before that.
No, he fought a good version of, as good as he ever was.
He fought a good version of Frampton. Frampton is not old. Frampton is not old, please.
Yeah, Gary Russell ain't fighting nobody. None of these guys are fighting anybody. That's a PBC problem. Guillermo Rigondeaux ain't never fought nobody, and when he did, he lost. Yeah, okay, he fought Donaire. I'll give him credit for that, and he fought Lomachenko, but that was just another one of them fight. That's the problem with the PBC. Like, we could sit here and point at this guy and say he ain't willing to fight this or that guy, but we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
But they're in the same promotion. Gary Russell is in the same.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing. Yeah, they're in this. So are all the 154 pounders in the same promotion, and it took forever to get them to fight each other. So are all the welterweights in the same promotion. They're not fighting each other.
Charlo fought Lara, and he was gonna fight. And he was gonna fight Jared Hurd if he didn't lose.
Oh, you mean Hurd fought Lara?
Hurd fought Lara.
Yeah, but
because Lara is on his way out, so he finally,
what
fought somebody.
What Precise is saying, though, is it's a PBC problem as a whole. It's not just those little guys. It's in all the fucking divisions that the PBC's got the bigger names at. Nobody wants to fight. Now, whether that's the fighter's fault or Al Haymon's fault, we can only speculate about that. But it is a problem, though.
The PBC is not competitive. If you
look they could
at
be.
Who supposed to fight, he was supposed to fight Miguel Flores.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Miguel got injured. Miguel Flores lost to a Nat Yoon like 2 years ago. Right? The guy Flores. That guy had 2 years. That was his last fight. Why isn't that guy fighting Santa Cruz?
But you know what? I think we're getting.
They're not interested in.
We're getting away
from real competition.
Yeah, but we're getting. Listen, we know the PBC. The fuck. All right, the PBC, they got a deep roster. They could be making better fights. For some reason, they're not. Now, the point that
they don't want to.
But yeah, but that's we started talking about. Johnny Boy raised the point about Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. Whether Santa Cruz didn't fight Rigondeaux or not, he's fought Abner Maris twice, Carl Frampton twice. Can he, based on the performances he's shown, can he at 130 pose problems or even beat Tank Davis? Because he's a pretty tall dude. He could possibly pack on the pounds on that 5'7.5" frame. And remember, Tank Davis is 5'5.5".
I'll be 100% honest. I'm not biased toward Gervonta Davis, but I don't see Leo Santa Cruz beating Gervonta Davis. The only reason why is I still feel he's a pillow puncher, and I know he's tall, but he doesn't have a strong right hand that can keep Gervonta Davis at bay. I'm just being honest.
Maybe we don't know.
I
that,
agree.
Though. We don't know.
I agree.
That, though.
Fight. They each hit each other hundreds of times, and neither one of them got hurt because they're both pillow punchers.
I know this doesn't mean that much, and it's kind of stupid, but I'm just gonna mention it. Because that machine that they have, the PVC, where they put it up there and everybody hits it.
Yeah.
What's his name? Leo Santa Cruz hit that at like 900 points, just as hard and harder than I think everybody, but except one person.
What is that?
I think I don't count for nothing, like I was saying. But I think it's just mostly that
I don't believe that.
Well, it's on there, but
it doesn't really count. That machine doesn't count because I'm an amateur boxer, and the thing is, punching a machine where like you're not, you're putting your head above past your knee, trying to lunge at it as quick as possible. It's not the same as a boxing match where you have to keep your position.
Yeah, I used to box a bit myself, bro, and that every time I get drunk, I hit that fucking thing 17 times if they got one at the bar. And then it starts dinging off like I hit like fucking Marciano or some goddamn buddy.
And the guy who works at the bar gets the highest score always.
Yeah, because he knows where the G spot is on that motherfucker.
I broke that shit before.
Yeah,
I think you just have to punch it fast and push it fast. Boom.
Yeah, it's about fast and just like making sure you hit it with all the knuckles.
Just push through it fast.
You know that? I went to a spot and I broke it before.
Yeah, that was.
I swear to God, I broke it. I'm not saying. I think it was just hit so much at that time by so many big dudes that when I came and I hit it, it broke.
Jeez, I was at a bar one time and it was everybody gathered because Jean Pascal was hitting that machine, and he was going toe to toe with a fucking construction worker. The construction worker, I think, actually hit harder, and he was even lighter than Jean Pascal. So again, that machine, Gonzalo, you brought up. I mean, I know even you said that machine doesn't say shit, but come on, fuck that machine. But we were talking about Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. I don't even know. I mean, Santa Cruz can box a little bit. I would be interested to see whether Gervonta Davis can even walk through or get past that Santa Cruz jab, because the guy showed against Frampton.
That's a good fight, man.
I
That
think
is a
so
good fight.
too. That's what I'm saying. Recognize, bro. I think it's a good fight. Is this what I was saying before? Just right before you jump back on, bro. As long as Tank Davis is going to pull these guys up from smaller divisions, let him fight somebody of the upper echelon, bro.
Yeah, I would like to see him.
Guys,
You know who I would like to see him? Either Santa Cruz or what's the other kid that never fights?
Russell.
Gary
Russell.
Russell.
Yeah, we
Russell.
do.
But guys, Santa Cruz, when
He's
he was
small.
Tank's age, he was fighting at bantamweight. Okay, let's put that into perspective. Tank Davis is a
Yeah,
young
he's much
kid
bigger.
who, when he's Santa Cruz's age, he'll probably be getting his ass whooped at 140 pounds.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I agree, it's an interesting fight, but the fact that we're saying that this is an interesting fight tells you everything you need to know about Gervonta Davis. He ain't shit.
Oh, well, you first of all, you don't have to be so forward about it. Second of all,
Oh,
well,
I'm just keeping it real, BDA.
yeah, I know that's what you do best. That's what we like you. But the point is, I mean, because that's the conundrum. The fuck does Gervonta Davis do from here on out? Because the PBC, it seems like they don't have that many people at 130, and they don't want to seem to want to play ball against Lomachenko. I mean, Mayweather talks about Lomachenko, but they're not, they're not putting the moves on it really. So what the fuck does Tank Davis do? I mean, other than wait for guys to come up the divisions.
Well, yeah. Well, it's very like this is very easy for me to say. Look, if he's that good and he can walk through Leo Santa Cruz, well then he's ready for Burchell and he's ready for Lomachenko. And if
Yeah.
he doesn't fight those guys and they keep saying, well, he can walk through everybody else, then what are they trying to say about Tank? He's ready, but he's not ready. So what's the point? What are they gonna
Mhm.
do with him?
Floyd Mayweather said it
Feed him
best,
bumps?
Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather gave you the plan already. Even though he said it all fucking crazy, the plan was there. They said that Lomachenko was going to be 40 very soon, right? Even though that's like 7 or 8 years from now. But he said, is he going to be like 40? They gave you the blueprint of what they want. They're going to wait out guys like Lomachenko. They're going to wait him out
Why
until
not?
he might not be around by that time. You know what I'm saying? But that's the plan.
How could you be a fan of these guys? That's
I'm
pathetic.
not. I'm
Well, wait a
not. I
minute.
don't like. I don't like
Yeah.
these guys.
All I'm
First,
saying, yeah,
I
is
don't
he
either.
ready? Is he ready or is he not ready? What is it? You can't be both.
all right. Let
Yeah,
me
but
ask. Let me say something.
one or the other. And here's the thing. I love, like I say, bro. I love how Floyd Mayweather's got this big shit-eating grin on his face when they're interviewing him like they're best friends. And then as soon as Pacquiao and fucking Lomachenko come up, his whole fucking demeanor changes. He starts frowning and shit like he's about. it's so fucking cringeworthy, bro. He's like
Because Lomachenko's the guy who can knock off what he perceives to be his cash cow, and Pacquiao outlasted Mayweather. That's the reason. That's the reason for the frown on his face.
Wait a minute. Are
And
you
it's
saying
like,
Mayweather's the type of guy that gets jealous about other fighters? Get out
of
of here.
course, he feels
Get outta here.
uncomfortable with guys that pose a problem to his personal interests.
And by the
Whether
way,
he's the manager or he's the promoter or he's the fighter.
well, you
I
know
just
what?
wanna-
Guys, I have sorry, I'm just like still stuck on what something Gonzalo said and how we're talking about Santa Cruz fighting Tank Davis like that's a legitimate fight. Look, just because it might be competitive for a little bit, that doesn't mean anything. Like, there's how many of these little guys is Tank Davis gonna bring up in weight in a row before? He's fighting these little dudes, and we're kind of giving them credit for it, while at the same time we're talking about him beating everybody in the division or competing with everybody in the division. It's like, wait a minute, shouldn't he
Yeah.
be proving himself against the guys in the division before we can say that he could compete? Clearly, the people that are handling him don't think he can compete with the guys in his division, because if they did, they would be pushing for those fights, but they're not. They're bringing up little guys. And to say, like, if he beats Santa Cruz, then he's ready for Berchelt. That's like saying if Chris Algieri can beat, I don't know, pick a fucking garbage ass
Figueroa.
lightweight. Yeah, pick a garbage ass lightweight. That means he's ready for Spence Jr. Oh, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
no, precise. I agree with you. I agree 110% with you. All I was saying
110%.
was, as long as he's going to keep picking on these little guys, at least fight some good ones. That's all I was saying, bro.
No,
That's
I agree. That's
Yeah.
fine. And I agree that Santa Cruz is going to be a tough fight for him. Ultimately, I think he's going to be too strong and he's going to hit too hard for Santa Cruz. But technically,
agreed.
Santa Cruz will piece him the fuck up and then he'll get knocked out.
I tell you what,
Yeah,
though.
more than likely.
I tell you what, and I'm telling you this: keep an eye on Miguel Berchelt because I know he's awkward. I know he looks like a bit of a goofball, but the guy is a big 130 pounder. He can box a little bit. He can definitely slug it out. If he slugs it out with Tank Davis, I tell you, I don't know if Tank Davis has the strength advantage in that one.
Well, there's a reason
really
why
don't.
they haven't fought him.
Exactly. I know.
They could make that fight, but there's a reason they don't want to fight him just yet. They're not 100% sure. They don't think that. Look, man, just look at the way he fights. You think he could really fuck with the guys like Lomachenko? Like, look at his style of fighting. Look at the style of fighting. Just that alone.
Mm-hmm.
Can he be Gary Russell Jr.? I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure. Gary Russell I could see him punching right through that leaky defense especially when he's real aggressive. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him getting right through that.
Speaking of defense, like I'm not saying there's nothing to criticize Leo Santa Cruz for, but he's not flashy, he's not special, I wouldn't say, but his defense, I've always been extremely impressed by how disciplined he is. The only thing I don't like is when he like taps his gloves on his shorts, that whole thing that he shakes his hands. That's something I really dislike about him. But the way this man is like committed to keeping his hands up, like when he throws the jab, his right hand is by his hand. When he throws the left hook, the right hand is by his chin. I mean,
he's got a tight
impressed.
defense.
Like it's not flashy at all. It's basic, but he's just so disciplined.
But basic is always better.
I think he runs through fucking Guillermo Rigondeaux. Like you guys could laugh at me. He runs through him. Like it's not even funny, man.
I would laugh. Well, you know, fucking. I'll completely
Guillermo
agree.
Rigondeaux.
I completely
No,
agree.
who runs through him though?
Leo does.
I think Leo beats him.
I think so too. I mean, just look at the Rigondeaux versus that Japan Ishida. What was his name? Ishida.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ishida.
And that guy was
the guy Amagasa. The one
Amagasa,
that down from featherweight.
And he's a light.
He's Warrington trashed.
And that's a guy that's Leo Santa Cruz light, way light. You know what I mean? Santa Cruz beats the shit out of Rigondeaux. And but listen, here's the thing. Here's what I don't like about Santa Cruz is his father, the way he dresses in the corner. When you dress in the corner, you're supposed to wear some sweats or something. This guy, I mean, if you're gonna go exactly, if you're gonna go to a,
he looks like he's Eli Wallach, bro.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah, Santa Cruz. I think I don't know if I think he could stay at 126 for a while because I've never heard of him having to make
weight problems. No.
Yeah, I've never heard weight problems. So maybe he should forget about. But you know what? If Al Haymon comes knocking and says, "Listen, why don't you pull a Mikey Garcia and just jump in wet and I'll pay you this much." Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not trying to get racial or anything like that, but aren't you guys getting tired of all these PBC Mexicans getting fed to these bigger lions?
Yeah,
that's true, man.
You know what I mean?
It seems like it's funny that you say that because that's a pattern that I've noticed. Like they feed these little Mexicans
or Argentinians, Latinos.
Oh yeah, Latinos.
You know what I mean?
It's like these.
We could throw Lara in there too. Lara Hurd. You know.
I caught wind of the same thing.
It's kind of shady, isn't it?
Yeah,
like Al Haymon. Look, Mikey, come to my office. I need to speak to you, Mikey. I'm gonna give you.
It's Spence.
I'm gonna give you $20 million. Fight Spence.
You gotta fight Spence, a guy you're 5 inches shorter than, and outweighs you by like 20 to 30 pounds naturally.
You know what it is, though?
Don't say nothing, and we'll talk it up.
You know what it is? It's because I don't want to get racial or anything, but it's economic. Mexicans, as a whole, most of them will fight anybody because they have to fight anybody. You know what I mean? Out of necessity for financial reasons. They want to eat, so they got that mentality going in there. Other fighters, more entitled. They want to get paid a certain amount for certain fights, for certain qualities. Like, for example, who was it? Who the fuck was it that recently we were talking about who he got paid a certain amount? Oh, yeah. Precise was talking about that. Gervonta Davis, he got paid, I don't know how much money to fight a late replacement. You don't think when it comes to fighting Lomachenko or Berchelt, he's going to demand way more than that? I mean, he's already getting overpaid for fighting essentially.
Right. He got in his last fight. He got $1 million to fight this fucking nobody.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's gonna want big money. And look, man, the economics, I don't care about it. Here's my thing. I go to the fighting. They know. Mayweather already said it. There's no need to argue this. Mayweather already said it. The plan is to age Lomachenko. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the plan. He said it's stupid, like I said, because he's a dumbass, and
Oh.
I believe he has brain damage, like a little bit. I think there's a little brain damage there, and so he may have said it wrong, like oh, he's gonna be 40 like in 2-3 more years. Yeah, right. But that's the plan is to age him out. Hopefully, he gets into more wars where it looks like he's deteriorating, and then throw in what's his name Tank in there and see if he can pull it out.
Yeah. Little Leonard Hagler kind of bit
Could
there.
be.
Right.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Hagler. But to be fair, look, I got to be fair to Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard did not have a fight like in 3 years.
5 years.
That's true too.
so there is some as much as I love Marvin Hagler, and I think he's one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen personally. I think he's one of the greatest fighters, but he really didn't have that much of an. He should have beat the shit out of But I think he was done. I think the Mugabe fight took it out of him. That's what I mean.
The Mugabe and then the Hearns was
Mugabe beat his ass. He lost. Of course, Mugabe got the worst end of it. He did, no doubt. But Mugabe beat the shit out of him in that fight. Go look at the fight. He beat him up.
Well, it's interesting. Marvin Hagler keeps saying he won that fight, the Sugar Ray Leonard fight, but something interesting to look at, and I think I mentioned this before. You watch him at the end of the Leonard fight, before they announced it, like right after the bell, and he's doing a little jig, a little dancing. When
he wasn't too confident.
When did you ever see Hagler do
never.
That? Never. So it was almost as if he was trying to convince himself or the people.
You know what happened with Hagler? In that moment? He realized he's not as good as he thought he was. Meaning he's not as good anymore as he thought he might have been in that fight, going into that fight.
Well, Hagler was supposed to kill him, man.
He was. I mean,
so anything other than that was a disappointment anyway.
Exactly.
Look, he was supposed to murder him. People were crying that the fight was even happening.
When I talk about this fight, I was a little too young to remember everything. That fight took place, I think it was 87.
Oh, I was there.
Well, I was like 13 or 14, barely watching these fights. So I always talk to my uncle, my youngest uncle, who's 8 or 9 years older than me, right?
The fuck?
So he was old enough.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so he's 8 or 9 years older than me. Yeah, he's my grandparents had a fucking 20 kids, I think.
It's Puerto Ricans for you.
Yeah, you know how those Puerto Ricans get down. But anyway, so I always talk to him, and he tells me the same thing. He was like, the fuck, because he was a Marvin Hagler fan. He's like, the thing that kills me about that fight, we all thought he was going to fucking massacre Sugar Ray Leonard.
Of course.
He said, we all thought that. Everybody thought he was going to destroy Sugar Ray Leonard. But, it turned out to be a good fight. This is my uncle. I'm telling you what he said. He's like, I thought he won the fight, but it wasn't what we thought it was. It was not even close to that.
My pops told me they fucking got into it with a bunch of guys that were rooting for Leonard when they were watching at the bar or some shit.
Any similarities
back in the day? Huh?
Any similarities between Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran with Spence Mikey?
Stop it. I knew you were going to say that. Stop it. Listen, I just want to... fucking Gazelle.
Probably not.
As far as the result, I mean,
Stop
how
it
would end.
Stop it.
Roberto
Just
Duran...
the bigger guy winning.
Roberto Duran was bigger than... Okay, so Roberto Duran is bigger than
Mikey.
It's bigger than Mikey, right? He's bigger than Mikey, but...
By a little bit.
I think Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray... Marvin Hagler and Earl Spence are the same height. They're the same height. They're probably the same weight. They're both the same weight. Both the same weight.
And Duran is a legend, and Mikey is
not.
What?
Yeah, well, he's a legend.
That's a very important part to throw in there. It's
I'll just talk more about
Duran's an all-time great.
One guy is considered, on a lot of people's opinion, top 5 greatest fighter that ever lived. He's in that conversation.
Where did that fight end? How did that fight end? Knockout or decision? I forgot.
No, it went to distance.
Yeah, it went to 15 rounds.
And he gave Hagler problems in that fight.
He kept him honest. It was shocking to see.
Did you see
That's
Hagler?
what I was more
Did you
interested
see
in.
Hagler's face after the fight? After the fight, he was dejected. He was like, "Fuck."
Well, you know what he was, right?
That's
That's why he went balls out when Tommy Hearns tried to knock him out. Because remember, Marvin Hagler wanted the big fights for a long time, and the Duran fight was a little bit of a consolation because he wasn't going to get Leonard at that point. I think Leonard was already retired after the first comeback. After because of the retina, and Tommy Hearns was just starting to rebuild. So the Duran fight was a little bit of a consolation, and then he struggled. He actually had to rally the last couple of rounds just to get the decision. So, yeah, it was. I would have been disappointed too if I would have been him. I mean, if I would have been Hagler. But just
he went blow for blow with him.
Exactly.
That's the crazy. He went. Look, I think Marvin Hagler beat him. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying Marvin Hagler won the fight, but just to see the little man just hanging in there and just like landing punch, not just like hanging in. Like, oh, I'm trying to survive. No, he's actually trying to win the fight.
Yeah, recognize. You know what my favorite little man, big man fight is though of all time is fucking Duran and Barkley. Bro.
Right.
I fucking love that fight, dog. And
yeah,
Duran's like, and Duran's like 42 fucking years old. Barkley,
you're probably right. He's probably like late 30s or early 40s. Yeah. Late 30s, early 40s.
And Barkley's like my age, like 28 and shit. A fucking 6 inches taller than him and shit. That's one of my favorite big man, little man.
But you know what? That's where I was going.
I forgot about that in the day more too. Say, sorry, BDA.
Well, that's where I was going with that. I was going to say, Duran, whether he was a smaller guy or not, the guy was a crafty fella. Very crafty. Yeah. I mean, most people just remember the Buchanan and Leonard fights where he went on the inside on a rampage, but the guy could box. I mean, look at that footage where I know it's just a sparring session and they're not going all out, but that footage where he's a fat Duran and he's sparring Nigel Benn and he's fighting, he looks like James Toney in there. I mean, the guy could box, he could fight on the inside. I mean, I'm not, again, I get when he was in shape during that Hagler period, he was on, but then he would lose fights to like Marvin Sims and shit like that. So he wasn't.
Yeah, it was crazy with him. You're right. You're so right about that. Like with him, it was like he was a hit or miss guy as when he went up in weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 135, that's where he was a pure monster. He was just like disciplined for the most part, and he was just unbeatable. He could beat everybody at 135. But when he went up in weight, he was sort of like hit or miss. He'll have a performance like the guy from the UK who beat him, but then, go in there and ruin a guy's career who's a high prospect in Davey Moore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like ruined the guy's, just gave him the kind of beating you don't recover from. Like that. That's like mentally you don't recover from.
And recognize even in the Hearns Hagler fight, bro. Hearns knocked him out in 2 rounds, and then he gave Hagler all he could fucking take, bro.
Right. Yeah. You see. Going into that fight between Hagler and Tommy Hearns, Duran fought Hagler first at 160, right? He fights him at 160, goes 15 rounds, gives a good account of himself. He loses on the scorecards. And the next fight, he goes back down to 154 because that's where he probably belongs at welterweight, to be honest with you. But he goes back down to 154, fights Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns knocks him out in 2 rounds, okay, sparks him out. That's where the whole thing flared up between Tommy Hearns and Hagler. Tommy Hearns was like, I knocked Roberto Duran in 2 rounds. You went 15 with him,
right?
So who's the better fighter? That kind of thing, and so they were like, make it happen, and they finally made it happen, and we know what was the end result.
And I got something to add to that. Recognize that's what kills me with these dudes who's telling me, oh well, Tank Davis knocked out Pedraza and Lomachenko with the distance with him, so that means Tank knocks out Lomachenko too. Like, bro, no, styles make
Johnny Boy.
Yes,
Johnny Boy. Those are guys that don't know shit about boxing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know nothing. How can you sit here and say? Because what one guy did, and use no content, no content, because if it suits your agenda, right? Don't use no content. You got one guy chasing, okay? Pedraza was trying to walk down Tank.
Yeah.
You got Lomachenko chasing Pedraza at a higher weight where he's obviously looks bigger. So even if you don't want to say, if you're one of those Tank fans that are like, oh, how can you say he was better at 135 than he was at 130? That's fine. Where did he look bigger at at 135 or 130. Obviously, you're going to say 135, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he was fighting to survive in the latter half of the fight, bro.
Absolutely.
You had Lomachenko trying to knock him out. Lomachenko looked like a bully in there. Like, that's the first fight that I said, damn, Lomachenko looks like a fucking mean bully. Just chasing a dude down and trying to knock him out. Like, that's what he was trying to do.
I'll give you another example of that shit, just because styles make fights, bro. For Ali, even way back, Ali lost to Norton and Frazier. Foreman beat the shit out of Frazier and Kenny Norton. And then Ali knocked out George Foreman. So what does that tell you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Johnny Boy, we know as boxing fans that pay attention to the game. That's a stupid example to ever use.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's called boxing math, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. No, BDA, I was just going to say, you mentioned boxing math, but you were talking about, I brought up the Mikey comparison, but yeah, Mikey don't have that extra craftiness when you were talking about Duran. Duran had that extra craftiness. That's what I was trying to figure out, make some sense out of it. But yeah, he was crafty. Was Duran really fast? He was before my time. I have watched his fights. Would you classify him as fast or just regular?
Pretty average.
Look, go watch him at 135. I would say that's where he was at his fastest for obvious reasons. But I would say basic fast. He was fast enough where he was one of those guys that had a little bit of speed and good timing.
When he was one of them dudes that when he got aggressive, he got quicker. When he got mad and shit, he got, he started snapping punches off a little bit faster, I think.
But it was more about timing generally.
Yeah, I think Duran's whole game was about timing. He did have good speed, especially at 135.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but we just have a special visitor. We have Apology Man on the line.
Speak of the devil, and it shall appear.
She just wanted the drama and you two to fight over her. That's what women do.
Your punishment must be more severe.
I lost respect for all of you.
Bitches are stupid. I treat them like shit. That's how you get one to eat a dick. Never be sweet to a bitch.
All right, Apology, you there?
Yo, what's up?
Are you at the gym?
Sexist is here.
Yeah, the one and only.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, we're just talking.
We were talking boxing. We were going down memory lane.
Yeah, with Duran, Leonard, Hagler.
Since he's British, we're going to need a pick for the domestic dust-up.
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Apology. Who are you picking between Eubank and Degale?
I don't really care, but probably Eubank. Degale's done, man. Like, would you Jack beat the life out of him? He's done.
All right, first of all, I'm trying to. Yeah, you get to fucking. First of all,
beat everything out of him. Like, just look at him.
Would you date?
Who was it? Was it precisely the video?
That picture BDA put up, he's done.
I think it was precise. He did a picture and he's told he looks like a homeless man. You're right. He looks like a homeless drunken who stole some crack from some people you shouldn't have and got his ass beat.
So what are you saying? He's gonna get robbed in the fight?
No, he's just gonna get beaten up.
He's just gonna get beat up. I think Eubank beats him, or should beat him. I don't trust Eubank, but you should beat this dude. Like
Porky almost did.
Bum fights. Remember that bum fight?
Porky probably beat him. I think I gotta go look at that fight again. I told Porky.
I had it together. Porky was working. Degale wasn't doing nothing. Yeah, he was just laying on the ropes.
Apology. I know you're a MGTOW, but let's say Degale's sister. I mean, not Degale. Yeah, Degale's sister comes around, and she says, "Apology. I need a man.
Can we stop?
I need a man, and I got you in mind for that job." Boxing. What would you say, Apology? Don't tell me you turned down that piece of pussy, man. Come on, please don't tell me that.
That pussy's been ran through. Hell no.
All right.
We just need to get somebody to fuck Apology. He don't need to fuck nobody. We just need to get some skanky bitch from the bar, jump on top of him, and fuck him.
He needs to go out with a crazy bitch like.
We need a girl. We need the kind of girl that's so horny that she'll jump on Apology and she'll just dry hump him.
Exactly, and then Apology's gonna forget all about.
They can't stop moving their waist. It's like oh God, this girl looks like she's coming already.
I mean, I worked at a bar, so I've seen a few of those girls.
There you go.
They were doing that on the table once. I was like, dude, get off! I need to clean it.
Apology's gonna be Jonah Hill on Superbad. Have that bitch grinding on him.
Oh yeah, with the with the
fucking
blood
bleed on
stain.
him.
Oh man. All right. So apology, just real quick. Who did you pick then?
Eubank.
Eubank. Jesus, reckon I wasn't even listening. All right, Eubank. You think the fight's gonna suck? Listen, I tried like hell to bring this subject up. Nobody in this panel gave a fuck, and now we're talking Duran, Hagler, and fights from the fucking 1980s.
I mean, that tells you how shit this fight is.
Exactly. I'm the only one that thinks it's gonna be an interesting fight. Just wanted to say one thing about Leonard. Prior to the Hagler fight, this motherfucker, he always was the A side. He would always dictate the terms for the fights, and the terms he dictated for Hagler, really, it's really something to behold. It's so sneaky that you had to respect it. Not only did he decide the size of the ring, he decided the amount of rounds. Instead of 15 rounds, it was going to be 12 rounds.
12 rounds,
And he trained specifically, like he timed it to a T, how much he could go on for. So he said, all right, I can't go 15 against Hagler, even though Hagler's, finished. I'm going to time it just right so that it's 12 rounds. And he pulled it off, man, because if he would have gone another round, I don't think he could have been left standing. But that 12th round, he gave it all, and he pulled away with the decision. Really, you got to respect the way he planned that little heist.
BDA, I wouldn't say he was finished, Hagler. I wouldn't say he was finished. I don't think he was as good as he was on his little run.
Right.
That he was on before he started demanding, the big fights and stuff.
Right.
That was another one, bro, where like one guy had it 7-5 one way, one guy had it 7-5 the other way, and then one guy had it fucking 10 rounds to 2 or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was similar to
the first Canelo.
Golovkin and Canelo. It was very simple. There was a lot of comparisons there.
BDA. I was watching last night. I was watching a Pacquiao fight, and I thought about something that I was like, wow, I was impressed. I saw the Cotto fight, but I started thinking, when these fighters you were mentioning, they plan to go 12 rounds, like you were saying in the case of Leonard, and then De La Hoya watched the fight with Trinidad the other day, and he took the last 2 rounds off because he thought he had the fight of the bag. Even Pacquiao, when he was dominating these fights, he never took the last rounds off. He just even if he had a chance of getting knocked out, he never danced backwards thinking, okay, I'm just gonna try to whatever these rounds, just put him in the bag and get a decision. Right. Nah, he was just pressuring forward. Margarito, Cotto, he was even turning to the referee. Well, this guy doesn't want to fight me. It's like, wow. It's for the little guy to never, even though he's dominating the fight, not take a step backwards. I just thought that was impressive.
Well, that's because he's juiced up.
Yeah.
That's because he's juiced up.
And by the way, Precise, you were saying that because the topics change really fast, but how Spence, the elite PBC fighters, I'm not saying Spence, but the elite PBC fighters, they feed on the Mexicans. Now that Pacquiao's bringing in 50 fighters from the Philippines, it's going to be
they're going to be feeding on the Philippines.
They're all going to move up in weight overnight, huh?
Yeah.
Chow time. But then one of them could just prove to be dangerous and come out of nowhere like Pacquiao and just put all these guys on blast,
You're gonna have a 5'4". You're gonna have a 5'4" Filipino that should be fighting at 118. They're gonna push him up to 130.
Hey, by the way, I heard. I just read something right before I jumped on a couple hours ago, bro. They're trying to make Kovalev better Beatev as well. Yeah,
that'd be nice.
I wouldn't mind seeing that one.
I want to see that fight. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Fuck yeah, man! Those two guys. That's It's about time Beterbiev somebody gave him a shot.
Make it in Russia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'd rather see it in the U.S. Otherwise, fucking 5 p.m.
Wherever they have it, I'll watch the shit. But,
They should do it in Canada. That way I can go see it. Because anytime Kovalev, people already know him here. He fought Pascal twice here. People are boxing fans over here. So Beterbiev's from here. He lives here.
I don't think they'll let me in Canada.
Well, that's your problem.
The last time I checked, I don't think I could.
By the way,
changed it.
Somebody told me you were in low places.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Apollo. You haven't talked. Go ahead.
What, you too alpha for that country, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. My cock's too big to go into.
But
I wish they'd have one of these joints in Chicago. They don't never have no fucking fights out here, bro. My buddy was asking.
Too many shootings. Too many shootings.
Yeah, or Milwaukee.
Well, you know,
I think the UFC goes there once in a while.
That was the apology. That was the last fight I went to. Was when Kevin Lee fought the Dago kid from New York in the UFC shit. That was in Milwaukee.
I tell you, the problem with Chicago, man. The problem with Chicago, and this is why I don't go there anymore. No, I'm not kidding. The last time I went there, it was 2 a.m. and it was freezing cold, and yet 2 people came out of nowhere and they accosted me, and I tried to fight them off, but they beat me up, tied a noose around my neck, and poured bleach on me. And they said, "This is MAGA country." And I said, "My goodness, I'm never going to Chicago, that racist country."
Apparently, that happened to you, right? That happened to like a famous guy too. Like,
no kidding.
BDA, did it work for you, or was it legit?
Well, listen,
I don't know, man.
It was just a
trust you.
Apology. It was just a coincidence, but at that time, my career in the industry, in the adult industry, was starting to fizzle down, and I need a little bit of a boost. It's just a coincidence.
Hey, BDA.
I believe you, though.
Now hold on, Gonzalo. We want to stick to this subject for a little while, because
I know.
Yes, so do I.
No, I was just gonna say.
No, but hold on.
Let me just. Guys with the noose
Jesus Christ.
Turned out to be. I just heard that it turned out that the 2 guys with the noose and the bleach turned out to be from the LDBC.
Okay, that was a good one.
Johnny Tapia beat the shit out of a couple of people because they were mugging an old guy when he had a fight out here back in the day. I remember hearing about that. One of my cousins or somebody telling me about that.
No kidding.
Because I was young. Yeah, they were mugging some old guy, like 3 little hoodlums or something. Were mugging some old guy, and Tapia was out here, Johnny Tapia, and he fucking smacked a couple of them around or something. I don't know.
He was fast. He must have been fast in a street fight. The one thing I wanted to say real quick about that, what's his name? Justin Smollett or S'mores?
Jussie Smollett.
Some fucking name. Yeah. It's interesting because Recognize put a link in the Hangouts, and it's his old black guy, and he was calling bullshit on the story way before. Like I'd heard other people tell me that the story was bullshit because if you just connected the dots, there was just way too much weirdness going on, like, too many holes. And what's interesting about that video, Recognize, that you put in there, it's an old black guy, right? He's calling bullshit. He's calling bullshit. The whole comment section, it's all black people calling bullshit right away. And that's what interesting about it is real people will call bullshit, whereas the mainstream media and the white liberals who are, riddled with guilt for being white.
This is what I've learned. Go ahead. I'm sorry, BBA.
No, you go ahead.
No, this is what I've learned. YouTube and reality are 2 different things. They're just way 2 different things, okay? Listen, no black people with a half a brain believe this. They just didn't believe it.
Exactly.
Okay? First of all, you're trying to convince blacks and homosexuality. When it comes to homosexuality and the black community, look, I don't want to start no controversy, but that's where homosexuals get the worst beatings. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, is in the black community. Now, of course, there's gay black people. Of course, there are. A lot of them are down low. They're like down low.
Before or after the sexual encounter?
There you go. Right?
It has to be afterwards.
It's probably afterwards. But they try to do this alliance that's never going to work. Even though I do see some like actors pretending that it is working, right? On like CNN and these pundits and stuff like that. They always, I'm LGBTQ, Y, Z, WX, and whatever, and black. Like they always do that whole thing. But anybody with common sense knows that, first of all, listen, white people don't do that. They just don't. Yeah, don't give me this one scenario where this fucking crazy white guy beat the shit out of some black guy, okay? I'm talking about as a whole. They don't go around Chicago beating the shit out of some gay actor, okay? And 15 below zero, carrying bleach and nooses and fucking calling them a faggot, a black fag, even though he is exactly that.
Oh.
He's no, I mean, he's gay, right? He's homosexual and
A real man don't find it offensive.
They call themselves faggots. Don't they call themselves faggots?
Well, hold on a second. I mean,
your use of the word "quote unquote" faggot is extremely offensive to me.
I mean, that's what some people are going to say, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry, gay.
Right.
Can I say it the way the
Gay
UK people
faggot.
say it? Can I say it the way the UK say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
He's gay.
But can I just say something about that? Let me just say something about that.
I find it a little bit more disrespectful the way they say it.
I had to slap some gay dude. This is when I had my broken hand too. I had to slap some fucking gay guy at the bar, bro. I was out with my boy or whatever. It was downtown. See, when my boys, now we're like 27, 28. This fucking kid still wants to go to the bar where the 22-year-olds hang out at. I'm like, come on, man. And fucking, so we go in there. And this dude, I had some jewelry and shit on. And this dude kept fucking commenting about my bracelet. I'm like, yeah, all right, bro, leave me alone. Then this dude fucking puts his hand on my shoulder. I'm like, bro, if you fucking touch me again, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. You know what? Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And I backhanded him with my fucking cast on my arm, bro. I was like,
What's
get
the
the
matter
fuck
with you?
out of my face, bro. I was like, you fucking little. You fairy.
So, Johnny,
Yeah.
you're
fairy.
using loaded gloves. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I hit him with that fucking Antonio Margarito. Yes.
There you go.
Lightly.
Well, hold on a second. I just wanted to say something about what Recognize said because he hit the nail right on the head. There's some people are trying to push an alliance. Doesn't work that way. Listen, when they were voting for gay marriage back in 2004, I believe, or 2005, and it didn't go through, who did you think voted against it? Do you think it was white people? No, it was the black people and the Mexicans. Because Mexicans, listen, I'm Mexican. I'm from Mexico. I was born there. Mexicans and black people, they don't play that gay
Marriage
homosexual thing.
Yeah, they
exactly.
fucking
It's
hate
not
marriage.
most Mexicans and blacks are
marriage.
most Mexicans and blacks.
I got it. I got what he said. Yeah.
Sorry. I missed the joke. Sorry, I missed precise. I'm sorry.
That's racist.
Precise. I missed the joke. What? Oh fuck. I somehow miss fucking precise because he does it so deadpan. I think he's being.
You're too old.
You know what it is, BDA? To go back, it's not going to be as funny, but damn, you missed that one.
Shit. No, you know what? Don't say.
Gay or straight, they don't care, man. They just hate marriage.
They just
anti-marriage.
Not married.
It's like Dominicans.
Anti-marriage, anti-male.
I'll do it in Spanish next time, bro.
Yeah. Oh, come on. That's racist.
I don't think Orlando Cruz or Yusuf Mack are too happy if they're listening to this podcast.
But I just wanted to say that. That you look at old black church ladies. You think they're pro-gay marriage? You think you think they see the gay parade in San Francisco or Montreal and they go, oh yeah, that's what we want to see. Nah.
It's these little fucking mulattoes running around talking about I'm black and I'm gay. I'm
right.
Like, no, you're not even black. You're not black, one. And
mulattoes.
You're gay, yes. That's what it is.
And let me just say something else. Here at BDA Boxing, I've said a million times, we accept people from all walks of life, all races. But hold on. Let me just I'm making a serious point. But my message to the people out there is, don't think that everybody approves of that. Because I'm telling you, I'm Mexican. Mexico is still a very conservative country. Mexico is a country where you look at comedy shows and all that. They'll go all in with the gay stereotype and make fun of them. They don't give a shit. And you can't. They're trying to change it now, little by little. But Mexicans aren't having it because whether you like it or not, different cultures. That's why they're different, because they got different standards, and you can't change them overnight. So I'm telling people out there, like 19-year-old, 18-year-old students in college who think the whole world thinks alike. If you go with that shit to the Mexicans and the blacks, they're not gonna like it. That's all I'm saying.
They made gay marriage legal in Ecuador not that long ago, and the people flipped the fuck out.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what the best? You know what the best is, bro? It's the fucking rapper kids with the dresses and shit on. But let me
get me started on Sorry, Johnny, but
let me
go
finish
ahead.
real quick, bro. Okay, now the dudes I grew up on, like Twista and Bone Thugs and Big Pun and DMX and these guys, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, they were legit. They were legitimate dudes from the street. Most of them, not all of them. Nowadays, we got some little fucking 4 foot nothing kid walking around with a dress and a purse, talking about how he's gonna fucking Uzi somebody's house up, bro. Like, come
And
on,
he's
man.
probably not
These
lying.
guys.
He's probably not lying.
I
I'll
can't
tell you
take it
why.
I think
seriously,
He's
bro.
demonic.
Uzi.
Go ahead.
Apology.
Apology. Sorry about that. Bro. Go ahead about
No,
Uzi.
go ahead. Recognize. Go ahead.
No, what he's gonna say about Uzi? Because I don't even know
I
who this
think
is,
it.
but tell me about
I
it.
think it means
No.
something.
No, I was
Something
gonna say
different.
he's gonna. I didn't say Uzi. I said he's gonna Uzi somebody's fucking house up. I can't
Homo
take
think it
it.
thugs,
means
man. The Midwest
Yeah.
is full of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yo, that's what I keep
It's getting
hearing.
in.
You know
It's getting
something?
the rapping community as well.
You know,
Like,
precise. I keep hearing the same thing that they're in the Midwest. Dude, they're in the fucking East Coast too. They're like
Yeah.
everywhere. Like
I only like knew of this in Chicago when I lived there. They're vicious. They're gay, but they're fucking vicious.
yes,
yeah,
that's
I
what
know
they-
what you're talking
I
about.
These
think
gay,
Guys, yeah.
these guys like in the all right. So in Manhattan, there's the West Village. The West Village. That's their territory. Yo, they'll kill you over there.
They're vicious, yeah.
They'll fuck
I
you up
think
bad.
I think it's they're ashamed of their
They'll fuck
gayness
you up
and
bad.
they hate you for being straight. That's why they're so vicious.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
let me be politically correct here. Homosexuals are some of the most vicious people because they're backstabbers.
Oh,
That's very politically
oh,
correct.
Yeah, they are backstabbers.
No
They're
way.
backstabbers
Wait.
and they're shady. They're
No.
grimy.
Wait.
No.
What do you mean by
Apology, fella.
Oh no!
I keep precise. I keep forgetting you're out from you was from out here, bro. I keep forgetting. Yeah, precise knows about the twist and do or die and shit from back in the day.
Yeah, twisted.
All right.
But you know something? Even in the 90s, I gotta say something. And even in the 90s, where maybe it was a little rougher for gays or whatever, but like right now, it's New York is gay heaven. It's kind of weird me saying that. No homo. You know what I'm saying? But it is. It's like this is gay paradise. If
That's why you live there, yeah.
I don't like your tone of voice when you say heaven or paradise.
I don't think heaven and gay go together.
Well, whatever. Yeah, you're right. But listen, in the 90s, even in the 90s, where it was, I have to believe it was a little bit more dangerous for them. They were like in little sections, in little parts of, especially in Manhattan, like a big city type environment. They had their little spots where it was like these homo thugs would kill you, bro. They will fuck you up. They'd be like, "I'll kill you, motherfucker."
Recognize? Do they whip out their pink gun?
I swear to God, I thought I saw one time. The guy, like a little shootout broke out, and it's like a pink gun, like this, pa pa, and he make the regular, pa pa pa. It went ta 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 ta.
Did he run like C from Bronx Tale?
Fucking Louis Beans. Louis Beans owes me $20, man. Listen, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's so even the gun sounded gay. That's interesting. Now listen, I just what was it shooting?
Flowers.
Regular guns go ba ba. Theirs will go pew pew.
Go pew 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 pew.
Was he holding the gun? You know how thugs hold the gun sideways? Was he holding it sort of like was the barrel curved like in the shape of a cock or something?
I don't even know, man. I don't know. I was
Bro,
at that, man.
after I got here, I got a good one for you. After I got locked up and I got out, bro, and I was in halfway house and shit. Listen to this one. They put this. There was like 2 houses like conjoined, okay, and it was like 4 dudes in one and 4 dudes in the other, and fucking there was this gay guy. All right, there was this gay guy in the back house, and he would just bitch about everything, bro. We went in there, bro. This one kid went in there, pissed all over his fucking floor, pissed all over his bed, and then
You're asking her to give you the money back?
yeah, but we would fucking
All right, come on.
Please.
We tortured this poor. We tortured the poor kid though, bro. We tortured the poor kid, and it wasn't because he was gay. It was just because he was a whiny little brat, bro. And we used to fucking go over there. We used to go over there and fucking pound on his bedroom door at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just wham, 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 and run off, bro. It wasn't because he was gay we did that though. It was just because he was a fucking whiny little brat, bro.
Bro, my heart skipped a beat when you said we used to go over there and pound.
I was like, wait, Johnny.
Come on, man.
My beloved.
No, I'll give you a funny all-male university story. Hello?
Yeah, we'll listen.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, I was in the wonderful island. You know, it's called. You ever heard of Rikers Island?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I was in there, and I've been in there for like fucking 3 months, and I'm going to court or whatever, and so they put you in this holding cell where when you're coming back with inmates, other inmates.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hearing this conversation. I'm like laying down because it takes forever to get placed back into the wonderful Rikers Island, right? So I'm just sitting there and I'm listening to these two guys talk to each other, and they're having a conversation. Hold on one second.
Oh, another guy that's getting yelled at by his wife. I mean, come on, you guys. That's why you gotta go MGTOW, like apology. Don't get married, otherwise, when you're on the BDA podcast.
No problem.
Yeah,
man.
see.
You want me to sign for anything? Oh, you're good. All right then. Just close the door. Thank you.
Are you at the bodega
It's cold
again?
outside. No, I'm at work.
Oh, okay.
I'm at work. So, all right. So anyway, these two guys are talking to each other, and they're like on the, they're like on the smaller side. They're like, 5'4", 5'5" guys or whatever. I don't remember. They're on the shorter side. So they're having a conversation. They're like, yo, my boy told me that, if we sign for the homosexual side, that it's a calmer prison, so we could just be.
Oh, boy.
These dudes were having these conversations. They were actually having this conversation. They were like, because they didn't want to be in regular population, right?
Right.
And they were like, so if we go to the gay side, because there's actually there was a gay section in Rikers Island. But these were like, so the way I understand it, they were like guys who were like, what do you call those when they start transitioning?
Those
Transvestites, those people.
Yeah.
The whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, so they were like, maybe we could do that, so they could. I guess they didn't want to be in regular population. When they found out that it's not that easy,
it's not that it takes some work, huh? Takes some work.
You're not going to the gay side just because you say you're gay, because
do you have to prove it?
No,
on the spot.
They didn't have the work done. They didn't have the work done.
What, on the ass?
To be in the gay side, they didn't have like hormone titties, whatever the fuck they do. They didn't have nothing like that. They didn't have any surgery done to them. They were just regular dudes that thought that they could just sign being gay, and they go into the gay section.
All right, so how did we end up talking about this? What the fuck?
So recognize. Would Errol Spence be eligible?
Exactly.
Because you got nipples.
Jarrell Miller.
Jarrell Miller for sure. That boy like he on steroids. I don't
BBW.
know.
He would be a BBW.
Have you guys looked at him lately? He looks like he's on steroids.
Yes.
That dude's big, bro. He's a big boy.
He's just a fatso.
But yeah, he So they found out that they were gonna have to do regular population, and so they were like, "Listen, we fear for our life because is there any way you could put us in protective custody?"
Oh no!
Listen, I knew, and the guy, and the CEO was talking to them. The correctional officer was talking to them like, "Who do you fear in here? You got to tell us who it is." They're like, "I'm not sure." So no, you're just saying you're scared. That's it. You're just saying you're afraid. Like, yeah. I was like, these guys just made a mistake. They're not. I know they've never stepped foot, and just there's nothing to be proud of that. But they never stepped foot in a prison before. They were naked. These guys were thinking about being gay, like just to get out of listen, they would have got raped in the gay section.
Well, wait a minute. Recognize. Hold on. Recognize. You've never thought. Nobody. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Nobody's ever thought of going gay to get out of a hard situation. No pun intended. Come on. Nobody.
Wait.
No.
Well. Okay. Look. The first time I ever got arrested. Yeah, it was
the
a scary
first time.
experience. It was a scary experience, but I was a juvenile.
Right.
You know, I was like a juvenile detention. It was like a bunch of 15-year-olds and 14-year-olds like me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was scary because, you know, it was like, oh, shit. But there was no like, yo, you want to be in the gay section. Now, when you go to the adult prisons, this is when you learn about
the big
that.
leagues.
If you're a kid that already been in juvenile detention, you're not scared.
Mm-hmm.
Once you go to, you just like, you know, you might be a little worried. But I could tell these guys never stepped foot. They never been arrested before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So whatever they just did, because they were plotting. They were like, look. Remember. I even remember I can't remember the name exactly, but they said a guy's name. They're like, you remember Jorge? Yeah, Jorge. When he came in, Jorge, you know, pretended he was gay, and he went to the gay section. Now, I don't know how true that is, but, you know.
They called him Hey Whore.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
BDA, please tell me you heard that one.
I heard that one. That's why I was laughing. Come on. You didn't hear my wheezing laughter? Come on.
Yeah,
well, that was the story. I mean, it was just funny to me how these guys, it was just bad. I was like, yo, you guys are going to general.
So recognize. So you're saying if you go to the big leagues, if you can't make it in the big leagues, don't try to show up at all.
Yeah. I think these guys learned that real quick. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I was the same way, bro. First time I ever got arrested, I was young as fuck. I was like 15, bro. I got me with a fucking like 3 ounces of weed in my scale and shit. You know, so yeah. So, but I graduated high school anyway. On the bright
good
side.
for you. Yeah, that's.
Hey, I got my GED in the Old Mill University, so at least I did something.
I went to college. I went to college. I just never finished, bro. One of these days, maybe.
Oh man, precisely sniping from the back seat, man. He's taking motherfuckers out with those zingers.
Said yesterday.
He's on fire tonight. God damn.
You motherfuckers, you need to get my attorney, Rifle Shapiro. You won't get bothered by the cops. I'll tell you that much right now.
That's what I need. I need a nice Shapiro in my team.
That's right.
What, me yesterday, you mean? You talking? Wait, what did you say? Oh, I meant
to recognize.
Johnny, you got the joke way late, man.
Oh, my bad. Forget about it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting,
you
man.
About me getting my GED. I got it yesterday.
I was confused. I was like, what? Oh, yeah.
There was a prison.
I wouldn't pass that now.
You know, it's interesting.
No, hell no.
Before, in the old days, now people they say, oh, I'm a woman or I'm a man or vice versa, and they can go to the other prison. You know, like there was a guy that's transitioning into a woman, and they put him in a female prison, and I think he took over real quick, like a fucking tribal leader. And the other thing is
raping all them.
Exactly, yeah. And I think it reminds me
that's true. Recognize it's true.
It reminds me of a case because
I know it happened.
Before it used to be you all you had to do is plead insanity, and if you could make it, like if you had a good attorney like I do, you could try to spin it and make it. There was this one case here in Canada, maybe you guys heard of it. It's 10 years ago actually, or almost 10 years, more than 10 years ago. There were these people traveling on a bus, Greyhound bus, and from Alberta or whatever. This motherfucker, Aborigine, you know, this fuck like from Nunavut or Yukon or whatever, big dude. He kind of looked like Jake the Muss a little bit. They're in the bus, middle of the night, everybody's sleeping. This motherfucker pulls out a hunting knife and chops the head off. No, he doesn't chop it. He saws it off of a guy. Now there was a witness, a woman in the front seat. She said she was sitting in the front, and she said like you could hear the guy howling while he was having his head sawed off, and she said it sounded.
Shit.
Yeah, she said it sounded like a dog. You know, like a dog getting beat to shit. And I thought, fuck. So people, you gotta put yourself in the position of these people. It's the middle of the night in the bus. Nobody's expecting a fucking Jake the Muss looking motherfucker starting to saw somebody's head off with a hunting knife. So they all look back. They're in shock. They see all this blood spurting all over the place. So what do? They get out of the bus, and the bus driver gets them all out, and then they block the door so the crazy guy can't get out. So the crazy guy, as always, after you chop a head off, you just start prancing around the bus and with the head on, and then he threw it at the people, like as a sort of a. Anyway, long story short, this guy obviously they arrested him, and even in Canada you get arrested for doing that shit, and they put him in jail. Blah blah blah. They did a psych evaluation. Oh, it turns out he's crazy. Well, 5 years later, I think it was in 2013, 2014, they let him out. They started letting him out little by little. It's a fucking guy that chopped somebody's head off in the middle of a bus. The most boring place to chop somebody's head off. And they let him off the
head
hook.
off. Like, not only chopped it off, like sawed it off.
Sawed it off,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
ISIS style.
He's severing his head off. Like
exactly.
Not a one-hitter quitter. He took his time. Yeah, it took a while.
Dude, let me tell you something. I accidentally thought I wanted to watch
someone's head off? What?
No. I saw a video. Precise. I saw this video of a guy. I didn't even want to watch this, and trust me, you'll understand what I'm saying, because I like immediately said, "Oh shit," and turned it off. Like immediately, just turned it off. So I'm watching this website. It's like you could see all these nasty killings on, like, mainly in Brazil. So I was bored, right? And I'm like going through, I'm at work, bored and shit, just going through all this shit, right? And I'm seeing like drive-by shootings in Brazil. They can't, apparently, like, they got cameras everywhere and they fucking just catch people getting murdered. But there was this one that I saw, man, fucking shit. And I just like clicked off and I said, I deserve that. Because when you're just clicking and you're not paying attention, this guy's getting his head cut off and he's screaming like a fucking, oh, man.
I seen a couple of those too.
I said, I can't watch that shit. Like, this is insane that they're videotaping this shit.
You know what?
These guys were really like possessed. They were, because they were, when they were doing that and he was screaming, they were like getting their rocks off. They were like, yeah, keep doing it. I'm like, oh, man.
Well, did you know what the origin? What was the video? Was it like Mexican narco shit or?
No, these were Brazilians.
Brazilians?
These were, yeah. In Brazil, they caught a gang member. It says gang member, gang rival turns something. It was like turns
snitch,
gory. Yeah, it turns.
Low places,
gang revenge killing turned really gory. And
Low Place is lucky he's not in Brazil then, because anyway. But the point is this, man.
Killer boy.
The point. It's interesting because Cameron had spoken about that in one of the best of BDA videos we talked about one time. He was talking about watching those, people getting their heads chopped off with chainsaws. I'm thinking, and I remember people were in the chat here. We were telling him like, why the fuck would you watch that? But you saw it by accident, you said. But people get desensitized to that real quick.
Yeah, I could, because obviously, like, those guys that were doing it, right? When they were doing it, they were inspired by the guy screaming. Picture them, you're alive, right? They somebody just runs up behind the guy and starts severing his head off.
Jeez.
They just start cutting, until they get the whole thing off.
That's a bad day right there, man. That's a bad day.
And these guys are like, videotaping it like it's nothing.
Well, you know what it is though. You know what it is.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, that's gonna leave a scar right there, man. You gotta put some.
I think those guys are sadistic, though. I don't think they're just normal killers. They're like, obviously, I'm saying the obvious. Like drug dealers, right? Drug dealers and gang, they just shoot you most of the time. They pop, and they even if they blow some guy's head off, it's with a gun. It's not that intimate, Killing somebody with a knife, bro, or beating him, to like, you just gotta. When you seen like a guy just, unless he did something like really bad to you, I don't even know if I could do that then. I would just like blow his head off.
Yeah,
really.
Because that's the thing, man. When you, as human beings, we're programmed. I mean, if you were raised correctly, you're programmed to. If you hear somebody suffering, immediately you get that urge to stop. These guys, the way you talk about them, recognize, it seems like they're the type of guys that at 13, 12, they'd already killed somebody. You know what I mean? Like they already
right. Let's put it this way. These are the type of guys that enjoy destroying like the human body.
Right.
They actually enjoy destroying the human body. Like, you may think you're tough, and I knocked this guy out. Boom, these guys
Yeah.
are those guys' worst nightmares.
Yeah, that's
Like
that's a whole nother level of
right.
shit.
That's a whole. Okay, you ever see a group of guys? They always want to get into fights, or they want to jump people and beat them up and knock them out. They will take those guys and destroy their lives.
Yes, exactly.
They'll burn them alive. They'll do things that they never even thought of. They'll be like, oh my God, I didn't even know that there was worse people, 20 times worse people than that.
Yeah.
Pete
BDA,
Stannis.
I think.
Speaking of gory,
Go ahead, apology.
No, mine's gonna be long, so go ahead.
Oh no, well I was just gonna say, yeah, I think BDA. It was either you or Bucho. I had mentioned it to before. The guy that Pesci was based on.
Oh yeah,
Casino.
yeah.
Spilatro, Tony Spilatro.
Mhm.
Okay, him and Mad Sam DeStefano and these guys, bro. They were the same way, dog. They would that shit where he stuck the guy's head in the vice. That's a true story, bro. They would take guys in the basement and torture them for days, dog. Blow torch their balls and shit. Stick fucking like all kinds of sick shit like that, bro. Like they got off on that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You watch those because the Mexican cartels are pretty notorious for doing that type of shit. You look at their faces you look at their faces when they arrest them. We talk about the eyes. The 1,000-yard stare, this and that. Like these guys, you can tell they're because they say the eyes are the windows into the soul. You can tell these guys got no soul. Like whatever soul there was there when they were born, it just gradually. Either it was never there or it got eaten away with all the crimes they've done. Because remember, these people they recruited at 11, 12, they got to kill somebody at 12 to get into the gang. By the time they're 17, they've been doing what fucking Spilotro was doing when he was 34. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing this shit hardcore. They got no empathy at all.
Right.
And then you
What's
take.
up, BDA? Sorry for talking earlier.
No problem.
No,
Man.
it's all right.
And see BDA, and like I say, in Italy, get too, bro. They're not. It's not like it is over here at all, dog. They're the same way. They're wacky, hitting people in the head when they're fucking 14 years old and shit. It's a whole nother game.
It's the big leagues.
BDA.
Sorry, Gonzalo, but Apology was gonna go.
Apology was gonna say something. Go
yeah, Apology was gonna say something.
Speaking of recognizers, talking about it reminded me of the Middle Ages and how they used to punish infidels and stuff like that. I think it was the Middle Ages, and one that really stuck out to me was I don't remember what it's called, but basically you get
the
like
wheel,
a metal,
the wheel.
No, not that one.
Oh,
There's one where you get like a metal seat and you tie weights to the guy's leg, and then they slowly split down and like cuts you in half, and it's slow and painful, and just that one stuck with me. Like
human beings were pretty good
for a long time.
Yeah, human beings are pretty good at coming up with ways to slowly kill other human beings. Gonzalo, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I'll see if I can find a link. I'll post an interesting documentary about some guy in the cartel that got out. How his life was crazy. But these guys, they my friend sent it to me. These guys also, like, when you say they have no soul and empathy, they cannot rest because all the things they've done that are wearing on their conscience, they can't get peace of mind. That's what I wanted to say.
That's an interesting point. But I thought you were gonna say that like the guys that got no empathy at all whatsoever, they can't sleep because they're thinking that other people are thinking the same way they are. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, they're a bunch of predators and they probably think that other people are the same way, so they can't sleep at night. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Even the people that's what the documentary is like. Even the cartel that employs this guy, he never knows when this guy's gonna be taken out by some other people within the same organization. It's just like that.
Yeah, you constantly
don't know who to trust.
Yeah, whether it's mob or cartel or any of that shit, bro. If you gotta be, like you're constantly worried about somebody coming to do some shit like that to you.
Like me and Johnny could be talking right now. You know how they got these movies that you guys talking about where somebody, like even a friend, we could be talking right now, and then like all of a sudden, you're told that you have to whack me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and then you say, "Oh, later, Gonzalo, we're friends and everything," but at the same time, we're not really friends.
Well,
Oh yeah.
the best example of that is at the end of American Me, where they give the guy the order. Spoilers, but they give the guy the order to kill his own brother, and he has to do it.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has to do it. So, yeah, listen, I guess if there's something to take out of this conversation is don't join a gang. If you're not into slowly torturing people to death, don't get into a gang. You know, because otherwise they're gonna get you into that type of program, and you can't get out afterwards. It's interesting. I've never been the type of guy that in the mid 2000s where the whole flash technology came out and you could watch videos online. I was never the type of guy that would watch gore videos. I knew where to find them because, like, recognize I would watch the street fight videos or the people getting run over and shit like that. But I never watched that like that. What was the name of the guy in Iraq? Daniel Pearl, the first one that.
Oh yeah. I never watched those either. I never, like I said, that beheading video was me fucking around watching gang shootings in Brazil or whatever shootings they were, and just like clicked on that one by accident. I said, "Oh, what the fuck did I just? The fuck did I just see?"
The worst thing I read or heard on the internet was this guy told me he used to go out with his girlfriend, and she ended up throwing away all his boxing tapes. I couldn't sleep at night, man.
Yeah,
that was the most.
That was like
disturbing.
I'm lucky to still be alive. I'm lucky to still be alive. I'm being honest with you. I thought I was going to kill somebody.
I don't know how you're not traumatized.
How would you kill him? Would you kill him with the gun or what the Brazilians did?
No, I was thinking about curb stomping. Remember American X History?
Yeah.
I was thinking about shooting her in the ass first. She'd drop to the floor. Ah, my ass. Yeah. Don't worry about
it. She'll be used to that.
I'll be like, come here.
It won't hurt.
Open your fucking mouth and put it on the ground now.
It's interesting though. It's interesting though how because
say goodnight, bitch. You fucked with the wrong bull.
It's interesting. We're talking about.
Come on.
We're talking about these gore videos on the internet, but it's also the same thing. Remember that Halloween episode where we're talking about horror movies? That's the other thing. The people that watch horror movies every day and they try to find the most gory. I gotta think that it does something to you psychologically long term to be what. First of all, those movies suck. Most of them. People just watching for the gore. But if you think about it this way. I don't know if you guys remember, but when the original Night of the Living Dead came out, I think it was in the 1968.
80s?
No. The first, the black and white one, 1968, I think, 69. It came out. People, horror back then was, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolf Man, whatever. This fucking movie comes out, and obviously nowadays compared to today's movies, it's very tame, but it does have footage of, zombies eating people and shit like that. So when that movie came out, nobody really knew what it was about, and they actually showed it in the morning as a matinee. So people took their kids in the morning to see that movie because they just thought it was going to be like this nice sci-fi movie to watch. Apparently, Roger Ebert, when he was young, he was already a film critic by then. He went to see that movie in a matinee to review it. And he says he was surrounded by kids and they were all, by the middle of the movie, when shit hits the fan, the kids were traumatized. He says they were crying, they had to leave. And this was 1969. So I do think we've been desensitized to that type of violence, even if it's not real. And I do think that, be wary of somebody that watches those type of movies nonstop, because I think there's something.
Yeah, there's something.
Bruh, my girlfriend's a fucking goth. She makes me watch all this shit, man. I know.
BDA. But that's in hindsight. Sorry.
No,
go
ahead, Gonzalo.
No, just because that's in hindsight, because I remember back in the days when I watched those movies, they were scary. Like the Poltergeist, to me, that was like kind of, on the edge of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
And even the old Jason movies, they were interesting, they were, kind of like that. But now if you watch them, they're not. But that's in hindsight,
You know what movie scared me the most out of aside of maybe the original Exorcist, bro?
Yeah.
That too, but and my girl makes me watch these shits all the time. Like, I like the new Halloween. I went and seen it with her in the theater. It wasn't too bad. But anyways, you know what movie scared the fuck out of me, bro? Was the original Nightmare on Elm Street, dog. That movie scared the fucking shit out of me when I was a kid, bro.
Let me guess, because he has a pedophile that gets caught and set on fire.
I don't know, but it was fucking creepy when you were a kid. I don't know.
You know what scared me? The Exorcist when you remember the part where the priest comes in?
Yeah,
And,
I know exactly where you're
she
going,
says,
bro.
Marin.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I know.
That shit. The movie itself was like kind of scary. I was like, all right, yeah. When she did that part, when she screamed Marin, and when she walked upside down the stairs.
Yeah, that was fucking.
Man.
Bro, you know what part of that movie scared me is when he's sitting by her bed and she starts talking like his mother who just died, and she's like imitating her voice and shit. I'm like, oh, bro, that was fucking creepy.
You know which one
that's
also
kind of creepy.
people disagree with me on this one, but I think the Blair Witch Project. I think they hit some a real home run there.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, but no, I'm not gonna admit it.
You thought it was real, huh?
Yeah, man. I thought I was watching some real shit. That's why it scared me.
Well, so did I. I mean, you got to remember, this was before fucking Facebook and Twitter.
Well, how
Like,
stupid I am that I actually thought this shit was real. Then one day I see the girl doing an interview, and I'm like, oh shit, wait a second. None of this shit was real.
Wait, Blair Witch wasn't real?
By the way, Sans, can you explain your comment? Like,
I was high.
This story is really scary. What do you mean?
Nothing.
I'll tell you what, man. My girl fucking made me watch this movie that came out like last year called fucking Hereditary. That was pretty fucking creepy too, dog. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm a grown ass man.
That movie sucked. I'm sorry,
dude. That movie scared the shit. Nah, bro, that movie scared the shit out of me.
I wasn't scared. The acting was way too cringy to be scary. I'm sorry, Johnny, but
when that shit hit the fan in the last 20 minutes, I was like, "What the fuck, dog? That shit creeped me out." I ain't even gonna lie.
What do you guys think about the movies like The Purge and all that shit?
I think it's whack. I think it's garbage.
The last one was okay, and the first one was unintentionally funny. Like, it was so cringy, it was funny, but it's not. They're not really that good.
It's hard to find a good movie.
Yeah, bro. Like I say, now I appreciate the shit from the 80s and 90s so much more, because everything that comes out now is a fucking superhero or a fucking alien or a fucking zombie or some shit like that. They can't just have like a normal fucking like French Connection detective movie, shit like that.
I like this new paradigm of superhero movies, but that's just me.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess first of all, it's a pain in the ass to find a good. That's why I rarely watch movies in the past 5, 6, 7 years, because it takes it's commitment. You start watch. I'll watch a movie. Let me tell you something. I'll watch a movie, and if by the first 30 minutes it doesn't interest me, I move on to do something else, because I can't stand waste 2 hours of my life watching a movie that's gonna fucking suck. And speaking of movies, the Oscars are gonna take place. What is it, next Sunday? This Sunday? Nobody gives a shit about the Black Panther. I didn't even see that movie. But are you telling me that's really Oscar worthy? Get the fuck out of here.
You know what's funny?
The message behind it. This is the message.
Yeah, that's right.
It's for the culture, BDA. Come on, man.
Well,
but anyways, I fucking dude. You know what kills me? Because my mom be watching all that shit, the fucking Oscars and the Grammys. I'm like, Mom, what are you watching this shit for? And she, you know what's funny now? Like back in the day when they had like best movie of the year or whatever, they'd nominate like 4 fucking movies. Nowadays, they nominate like 15 movies. Like you bitch ass motherfuckers couldn't narrow the list down a little bit to fucking, you got fucking 12 movies up for best movie of the year and shit.
Exactly.
Like, bro.
Hey, you
Black
know what?
Panther's one of them.
I mean, listen, I should. What I said is kind of stupid, because I said I didn't watch the movie, and then I said just because it's a superhero movie, maybe I'm assuming that it's not up to the standards of the great almighty Oscars. But I mean, listen, the last movie I saw that I enjoyed was a couple of weeks ago. I saw Lars von Trier's movie, the House that Jack Built, which is about
yeah.
That's a good movie. I thought it was worth my time, because it had an interesting message. It was original.
Yeah, my chick made me watch that one too, bro. Where he spoiler alert, he fucking cut the chick's tit off and smacked it on the fucking windshield.
No, you spoiled it for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that movie, Johnny
You
Boy?
would like that. Of course, Apology would like something like that.
Oh. Well, anyway, listen. I think we're gonna cut it short. We've been on for fucking 3.5 hours already. You
Wonderful.
motherfuckers. Every time I say
Cut it short like the tease.
What's that?
Cut it short like the tease.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Listen, fucking apology. Every time I say we're gonna cut we're gonna just do an hour podcast, we end up doing 3 fucking hours. Maybe you people maybe we should have talked a little bit more about Degale-Eubank. That would have cut this fucking show short. You make me look like a jackass, really. You motherfuckers. I'm here prepared. Want to talk about Eubank, Degale. I got every angle, position, and studied. If it goes to the decision, who wins? If it goes on the inside, who has the advantage? And you motherfuckers like, yeah, that fight, yeah, it might be good, might not be. I don't know. Why don't you shut up?
I told you overnights. The overnights I could stay on as long as I want.
But wait, are you working? Do you work night shifts? Recognize?
I work all like. Put it this way: I have to start. I'll start like around right now, and I won't get out of work till about 12 o'clock in the 12 at noon.
No shit.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a hell of a schedule right there, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of customers to serve.
Are you kidding me? You charge by the hour? Or,
Depends.
Eubank's gonna win. You can bank on that.
Oh my god!
You can bank on that, or you can take that to the bank.
Gonzalo,
you can. That's a good
I'm
one,
sorry, Gonzalo, but I'd rather listen to Recognizes work this fight. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, I was just gonna say that you bank anyway.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you trying to bring it back, but no. Go ahead, Recognize.
I apologize. I'm sorry. Apologize. Sorry.
Oh, apologize.
You don't need to apologize, and I'm just messing with you.
By the way, fucking apology, man. What time is it over there in England?
It is 11 past 5.
No, it's not 11 past. 11 past 5. Jeez. Are you
a.m.
Are you gonna go to sleep?
Jesus.
Are you gonna go to sleep, or did you just wake up for the show?
While I was doing something, you guys can probably guess what it was, and then I came on the show. No, not that. It wasn't that. It was the other one.
Let me guess. Fuck, where's the sound effect when I need it?
He's taking a piss, he said.
No, not taking the piss. But it was to do with that area.
You were pissing with somebody.
For fuck's sakes. I think you guys know what I mean. Stop.
He was pissing on someone.
Oh god, no.
He was fucking slamming the ham, that's all.
Is that where you
late night BDA?
Yeah, late night BDA. Yeah. Anything goes. We can play all the sound effects we usually can't play. Hold on a second. What do I got here?
What a fag. You didn't know he was gay. He's a fag. Faggot.
I'm gonna get some cock this morning because I didn't have any breakfast.
Aerated. That sounded like the girl I was watching.
Aerated.
What?
I want to meet that girl.
Yeah, it sounded like the girl I was watching. Sounded like the girl I was watching earlier.
You want to meet this guy?
She's cuckolded me before. She's had me eat her out after she's done fucking another guy.
I'm really drunk. Can I kiss you on the mouth? No! Please let me.
If you think you can graduate from this school without kissing my cock,
Who the fuck is that?
Oh man. We got it all, baby. You whatever you want. Oh, here we have footage of Leonard Ellerby and Floyd Mayweather.
Oh man. was that Ellerby getting beat? Was that Ellerby getting raped by
exactly.
Prince and his people?
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell him to give me the money. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Ellerby's like, no, don't give him the money yet. I'm almost done.
Oh, you like this, huh?
Like,
we're gonna see what I put a blowtorch in your ass.
Can't pay another way.
What's that?
Feels like can't pay another way. And it starts taking his clothes off.
Oh, and I got Apology's favorite song.
I think about this dude that I fucked last night and how his dick was big and his ass was tight. Sucking on my cock like a candy cane, rubbing on my balls and fucking out my brains.
Oh boy,
dude, that's a sick motherfucker who's rapping that.
That's a dangerous song, man.
Yeah,
that's Leonard
a
Ellerby.
dangerous song.
If you play it at certain places, you'll get your ass kicked.
That's Leonard Ellerby for you.
No, you play you play that in New York, everybody would get down for that shit nowadays. Fucking faggots.
He's probably watching the movie right now with Tank Davis, Ellerby. They're watching a scary movie.
Yeah. What else do we have here?
They're watching
They're hugging, hugging and cuddling.
I got some of the sound effects I rarely play here.
Penis! Penis! Big fucking erect penis, Mom!
Oh, that's a Donna Stevenson movie right there.
Damn, man.
Oh, that was bogus.
Poor Adonis. Poor Adonis. Can never leave the stigma of being a pimp and a rapist. Oh, man.
Those fucking poor 14-year-olds.
No. They deserved it.
Yeah,
they didn't do their math homework, recognized.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not for nothing, but if you've watched The Sopranos, remember the actor that played Ralphie? What was his name? Joey Pants. What's his name?
Joey Pants.
No, but his real name. Pantoliano. He was, for other people that haven't seen The Sopranos, he was in the Matrix. He was the bad guy, the bald guy that wants to go back into the Matrix. He in The Sopranos, I don't know if you guys remember, spoilers for anybody who's never watched The Sopranos, he beats the shit out of this 20-year-old stripper / prostitute who's pregnant, by the way, and he beats the shit out of her. And they show it like it's like a 25-second, 30-second beating they show you on TV, HBO. So he brutally beats her to death. Apparently, he said that after that scene came out on HBO, more women would come up to him and hit on him.
you know what's crazy, BDA?
They're sick bitches, I'm telling you.
Wow.
I know we gotta go and everything, but you know what's crazy, BDA? You know who was supposed to play Ralphie to begin with? You know who they wanted to play Ralphie? Ray Liotta.
Nah, really?
That'd have been nice, man. But Ray Liotta's probably too big.
And then if they had fucking Ray Liotta and Tony Soprano fighting in the kitchen and shit, like that would have been, that
would have been nice. Because
that would have been nice.
Ray Liotta has more size than the other guy. Yeah, he had more size. So that fighting scene was I enjoyed that fighting scene because that shit looked real.
Right.
You know, the whole breathing hard and he's fucking choking him out, and it's like, ah! He's like, you can tell he's battling for his life. He's like, you motherfucker.
That was one of the best fucking episodes ever. And then he goes, the best was he's got fucking swollen eyes and blood all over his shirt, and he calls Christopher over there to get rid of the body. And he goes, oh, I found him like that.
And then fucking Christopher's high as fuck, and Tony's chastising him. Like, can you even fucking do this? Meanwhile, he just killed the main guy from his own fucking crew. He's what's that?
He's like, go get the bleach, you fucking junkie piece of shit.
What about when he pulled his wig off? He goes, whoa! What the? He said, did you? He goes, everybody knew. Everybody knew. Chris, you were so high, you didn't realize that was a toupee.
All right. We gotta do that special Sopranos episode, man.
Yeah.
We always talk about doing it, we never actually do it. Is anybody still listening to this show, by the way? Yeah, we got John Gonzalez. Shout out to John.
27 in the chat. So yeah.
Pete Stamas.
Listen to us.
Chris Gonzalez. John, what's that?
There's people who appreciate what we do.
What? Talk about fucking prison tales and all the videos. The videos that Apology was jerking off to. Or Apology, were you jerking off to the Brazil beheading video, or?
Oh man,
a bit of both, just to spice it up.
Just to spice it up. Oh man.
Like you said, speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil. Yeah, this is gonna be his new song, man. What is it? Oh, I got more sound effects here.
I think he was playing the piano, right? Was that what you were doing just now?
It's like samples of some cellos. See what I can come up with here. There we whatever
of
the
the
fuck that shit.
devil. You should have just kind of let it flow. I would have did the whole speak of the devil.
All right. So anybody got any last things to say before we go? Something we missed, perhaps?
Anything we missed? Tank Davis looks like he's a Down syndrome baby. Do you ever like?
Oh, come on, man.
I was gonna ask. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing, man. I'm not a mean person. I'm a nice guy.
You know what?
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, you. What was that story true? I wasn't there when you talk about beating up a guy in a parking lot.
Like I said, I'm a nice guy. I could have just made that whole thing up. I made it up. Don't take me serious.
I don't know. Somebody that watches that can recite all of Rocco Siffredi's filmography by heart. I gotta wonder.
Yeah. You know, I was a young kid. What do you want from me?
Let's see what else.
Where the fuck is Cameron at? If that kid's MIA. Has he got some tongue?
Okay,
John,
Cameron.
It's 5:20 here. He's asleep, probably.
Yeah, he's asleep. Some girl sat on his face and put him to sleep.
Yeah, he's in a coma like Stevenson now.
some girl sat on his face and suffocated him, and he fell out. You know. No, you know what I'm worried about is I'm worried about our boy. I think he got locked up. I'm being honest with you. Boxing style.
That's what I wanted to say.
Boxing style is locked up. I'm telling you, boxing style is locked up.
Was he on court for some serious shit, bro? I don't know.
No. He went to Vegas. No. Did he go to Vegas?
Yeah. Pacquiao fight. Pacquiao
right. He went to he never came back. I'm telling you.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I thought I'll tell you the truth here, because I mean not the truth, because that's what I think happened. I was afraid that he wasn't coming around anymore because he was voted by you know, the fucking degenerates in the chat.
No, that doesn't bother him. One thing I learned about boxing style, that stuff don't bother him. I don't think.
So where the fuck is he then?
I'm telling you,
I saw him in the back of. I saw him in the back of a. Yeah, I saw him in the back of a carton of milk.
Recognize. If you watch any more Brazilian beheading videos and you see boxing style there, okay, then I guess we'll have to assume he's not.
Wait, is he the victim or doing the beheading?
No, you know.
Well, you know, the guy that was getting his head cut off was kind of like he kind of looks like boxing style a little bit.
Hey, BDA, don't you find that creepy that now that I mentioned that when they used to put the faces in the back of the carton milk, that's kind of creepy, huh? Missing. Then the faces in the back.
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, the last thing you want... I'm enjoying a nice glass of milk. The last thing I want to see some lost cocksucker looking back at me with his fucking eyes. Like, hey, are you going to look for me or are you going to drink your milk? Shut up. I don't want to look for you. I don't even know who the fuck you are. But, yeah, so hopefully boxing style... And that's the other thing. Stu hasn't been around for a while because without Bucho here, I can't do shows... pre 4 p.m. and I know he's over there in England and he's not a young spring chicken either. Then you got Cameron, who's in every dive bar trying to pick up let's call it what they are, slags as he calls them. He doesn't come around he was here the last episode though, right?
He's trying to stab everything he can get a hold of, bro.
You're 22. That's what you're supposed to do, man.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just doing what he's supposed to be doing. Yeah.
All right, so the fuck is this? All right, so do we end it or what?
Yeah.
Nobody. I tell you, I'm dead tired, man. Oh, but let's read before we go. Let's see what people in the chat room are saying.
Excuse my friend, he's dead tired.
A little Arnold Schwarzenegger quote right there. Punisher says, Cam is tired from dodging diseases. Pete Stammer says, nah. Fight Scout says, Pacquiao assassinated the homosexual boxing style. I tell you, the Punisher says, boxing style was abducted by the Turkish mob.
That's right. Armenians and the Turkish mob got they got that beef. I'm telling you, two things happened. Boxing Style's in jail for beating a Turkish dude. or they made him disappear.
What's his name? John Gonzalez says that's brutal. EM Serrano says sucks to be parents and seeing that. Yeah, I don't think the parents are going to be seeing that. The Punisher says recognize was the beheaded guy saying, let me finish. Chris Gonzalez says penicillin makes Cam sleepy. Oh, man. I love this fucking chat room.
Somebody got to make sure Cameron watches the ending of this video.
All right. So I guess that pretty much covers it.
All right, boys. Have a good one, bro.
All right, everybody have a good night, man.
I'm
Boxing style. Let us know you're still alive, man. If you're out there.
Exactly.
All right,
man, I'm dead tired, man. You know what? I usually like to talk a lot. This time I'm dead tired, man. I got nothing else to say. Other
Go
than
to sleep.
Yeah, I'll go to sleep. I gotta wake up tomorrow, finish reading my Bible. I'm doing the Cliff Notes.
That's right. For the 150th time, you got to finish the Bible.
That's right. You can never read. It's like what? It's like The Godfather. You gotta rewatch it every year. What else? So all right. So thank you, Recognize, for being on, man. Always appreciate having you on. Same goes for. All right. So thank you, Recognize. Thanks. Apology, Precise. Johnny Boy was here. John Gonzalez. Gonzalo was here. You can tell I'm dead tired. I want to thank Right Hero as well, making his first appearance on the show. I want to thank Abstract. Like I said, Apology, Gonzalo, Johnny Boy, Recognize, Precise. And I cannot forget everybody in the chat room as well. Who do we have here? Azzy, Box88, G Boogie, John Gonzalez, Harker Mustang, The Fight Scout, Pop-Tart, Revolucion, EM Serrano, Pete Stamus, Chris Gonzalez, Apology was there as well. The Fight Scout, Canelo was there as well. Many more to Box88. And of course the people that donated. I can't see the list here, but I think we had Undercover donate. I'll read the list next time because I'm supposed to be able to look at it here. Open a new window. No. Super chat. Oh yeah, I think. Hold on a second. Gotta give a shout out to everybody that donated in the super chat. G Boogie, Undercover Asian, and John Gonzalez. Thank you guys for donating. You keep this gravy train rolling. Otherwise, I couldn't be up at 12:24 a.m. doing this show with a bunch of degenerates. So thanks everybody who joined. Thanks everybody who joined in the chat room, in the hangout. Thanks to everybody again who donated. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care and enjoy the Degale-Eubank fight. I think it's gonna be a bit of a good one. Not fight of the year, but certainly not the bore fest that these people in the hangouts today made it out to be. Alright, so thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care.